There's no way. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go any further, I want to point out something that amused me. So, it's still keeping track of that little telltale, here's what they feel about the things you've been doing thing. If you look at the one on the screen, it's for Miranda, aka the person who has replaced Miranda. And it says, and I quote, Miranda was hurt by Carter's claim she doesn't know him, and more so when he refused to respond to her. Right. Not sure I agree with that, but yeah, whatever.
There's so much I want to ask you.
There's so little I can tell you. I'm a portal, not a scientist, but I'll certainly do my best. I can only assume this is one of your older starships. One would think, given the importance of your mission, they might send a ship of a more recent vintage.
Haha.
But, apparently not.
The Resolute is primarily a research vessel, if that's what you mean. Not a warship.
Although she has been known to hold her own in a fight.
Against what?
I know, right, FML word.
Something wrong?
Not at all. The galaxy has grown more diverse since the days of the Tkon Empire.
Because you conquered everyone who didn't look like you.
To the contrary. Most lesser civilizations willingly join the Empire to enjoy the benefits of an advanced way of life. But that expansion came with its own set of problems, so I admire your ability to diversify without creating conflict. That was always our challenge. And perhaps, ultimately, our downfall.
Yeah, we were root beer.
The Federation prides itself on its inclusiveness. I'd say it's one of our greatest strengths.
As the Vulcans say, infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
Interesting. I'd be curious to meet one of these Vulcans. If this is the best you have, then so be it. To locate this scion, Galvan, I'll need full access to your ship's systems.
Full access?
Huh. You must be out of your mind.
He's also asking permission rather than demanding it, so keep that in mind.
No, I'm right here, completely in my mind. Given this is merely a research ship, I won't be able to find him without it. Perhaps I should have made that clear up front. I'll need to make certain modifications.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Excellent.
Solano's gonna flip when he hears this.
And?
I'll see you on the bridge. Captain Solano, I'd like to introduce you to Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Tkon Empire.
Pleasure to meet you, Captain.
Likewise. I can't say I've ever met a portal before. There is no modern equivalent. Not within the Federation, at least.
We are incredibly lucky that Portal has agreed to join us.
Your first officer makes a very persuasive argument.
So I've noticed. You spent 600,000 years at your post. That certainly takes an uncommon level of dedication.
We all have our duty.
Of course. But I'm curious. You were stationed there in preparation for what, exactly?
Any and all threats to the Empire.
An empire that no longer exists. Which suggests you weren't very successful.
Can we avoid, like, poking the guy, A, in general, and B, in, like, what is most obviously his biggest sore spot? Could you leave the talking to me, Captain? It doesn't seem to be your strong suit.
You said you needed my help. I didn't come here to be insulted. Perhaps that was a mistake. I'd be happy to return to Delphi Ardu at any time.
And we do need your help. Absolutely. And we are grateful that you decided to come.
And your captain has an odd way of expressing his gratitude.
It's okay. It's better than the desk. What do you mean by a desk? Well, you know what a train is? Why, of course. They were the warp drives of their era. And the captain's eyes light up as he hears that. And that's the beginning of the blossoming romance.
I'm merely curious where your allegiances might lie. And clearly it's with the Tkon.
Yes, Captain. You have found me out and exposed my true loyalties. To the Tkon, not to the Scions of the Flame, who do nothing more than tarnish us in name and reputation and don't deserve to be called Tkon. That's why I'm here. And if you'd be so kind as to give me access to your ship's systems, we can get on with it. And you can stop wasting my time.
Access to our systems? That's completely out of the question.
I think you're right, Ross. I'm not even sure if the writers did this on purpose, but it's very possible he really is just someone who, you know, survived the Dominion War. I think we're going to call it that.
Tell me that's not what you promised. We're vulnerable enough as it is. And now we're supposed to give him access to everything? Ridiculous.
Captain, I know it's a risk, but right now it's our best shot at finding Galvan and that ship.
Here she was, naive enough to believe it wouldn't be a problem. Little did she realize the levels of ignorance and incompetence she was up against.
If you're not enjoying your visit to our ship, we'd be more than happy to let you wither away back on your pathetic little rock.
Captain?
You clearly do not appreciate the magnitude of the threat the Scions pose. So myopic is your focus on your own ego. I will not be leaving until they have been found.
Commander Rydek, a word.
Yes, Captain, I think you're a moron.
And to think, I waited 600,000 years for this.
You realize this puts me in an incredibly difficult position. I was against seeking him out from the start, but now, to give him access to our systems? It's insane.
Of course, you're absolutely right, Captain. So what are your orders? What's the alternate strategy you have clearly devised in your spare time? A desk cannon. No, I understand that they'd make the choo-choo sound as they're spiraling through space.
And you somehow expect me to believe his allegiance is with us?
His allegiance is not with anybody. The empire he swore to serve has been dead for a stupid amount of time.
You heard what he said in there. There's no way we can trust him.
We talked about this on Delphi Ardu. The reason he's here is because he's with us, not them. He came to help us, and he wouldn't be here otherwise.
We can't afford to get this wrong.
We sought him out for a reason. To help him find our missing crew, Galvan, and those Elydian ships. This is the plan we agreed to with Ambassador Spock.
Which I never liked. But here we are. You know what this mission means to us. Not just for the Federation, but for me personally. I can't afford another screw-up. Losing the shield algorithms was bad enough. This could be the end of my career.
We'll take every precaution to make sure we get what we need. I'll keep a close eye on him myself.
I appreciate that. I'm going to trust your instincts on this one. I just hope you're right. For both of our sakes. Let me know if you find it.
But mostly for the sake of my desk. My poor desk. Slipping
We're good.
away.
You may begin.
I will, of course, have to make a few modifications.
What kind of modifications?
To find Tkonian technology requires Tkonian technology. If this Scion Galvan modified his ships, then I must do likewise to yours. The galaxy is nearly infinite in size and complexity. This may take a moment.
How long
I
will it
found
take?
something.
Literally took a moment.
What is it? Galvan?
Someone is using Tkonian technology. I can't get the precise bearings, but it's located in the Palisades cluster.
I'll let the captain know.
Aw, it's a comm badge now. I'm almost sad about that. Look at that timer! Look, why? Why is this? Why is timer? Why? Combadaji. Oh, I still love that. That's still great. So does the Federation accept monikers as members? I swear I remember, like in the back of my mind, some member state being like that somewhere. But it's nothing overt. Part of the problem is we almost never really cover Federation entry states. Like, it's almost never something that happens, right? So we don't have as much information about that as I like, which is a shame. You'd think member states seeking to join the Federation would be a fairly large thing. But instead we get, like, the people in Season 2. The two sides that are at war in Season 7. This is both TNG, by the way, excuse me. I suppose there's Bajor in season, in DS9. It didn't go gray this time. Do you see that? That's weird.
Rydick to Solano. I think Portal may have located Galvan.
I'll be right there.
I'm getting all kinds of interference. Almost impossible to lock on the energy signature.
Where's he hiding?
In the Palisades cluster.
Interesting. Can you lock in on the location?
Not until you get me closer.
Lieutenant Handar, set a course for the Palisades cluster.
Aye, Captain.
Well, I suppose I owe you an apology. You were right after all. That's what I get for questioning the advice of my first officer. You always have my back.
No apology necessary. Your concerns were valid.
Nonetheless, I should learn to trust your instincts, which were absolutely right.
More than once.
Nice work. Let me know if you find anything more.
Will do. What's wrong?
I didn't want to say anything until I was certain. But the reason for the interference is simple. There's a Tkonian device on this ship being used to block the signal. Whoever planted it was exceptionally clever. They knew how and where to hide it. But they have underestimated my abilities.
Engineering.
Take care of the Tkonian device, and I can find Galvan for you. It's designed to interfere with all transmissions, or at least delay and confuse the effort to find Galvan's ship.
Why would you trust me with this?
I cannot be sure I trust anyone on this ship, but you and I came to an understanding on Delphi Ardu. That will have to be enough.
Don't worry, I'll get this fixed. We're going to find that ship.
Yeah, I know, I kind of like that. And yeah, this is probably the thing Miranda did, right?
Engineers would have found this device already if it wasn't well hidden. Better to rely on my tricorder. There's a lot of noise in here. I should scan the device putting out the most radiation to filter it out.
Yeah, probably the warp core. Wait, that's radiation? Ah, my cells! Ugh. And now I'm a super mutant.
That's better. Most other radiation sources in here are well contained. There's definitely tetrametric radiation nearby. But even with the gain boosted, it's getting drowned out by other sources of radiation in here. A little bit of harmless radiation leakage here, but enough to mask the tetrametric pulses. Easy enough to cancel out. There's still something drowning out the tetrametric radiation. I need to find it so I could filter it out as well.
I know that, like, we deal with radiation on a literal daily basis, but, like, look at that for a second. What are you doing? Nothing. I'm just looking at the radiation that's bathing over you right now. Huh? It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Well within acceptable levels.
Jeffrey's tubes thump harmonics from all over the ship. I'll filter that out. There we go. I'm getting a clear tetrametric signal now. Found
That's
it.
true, Jeff CCC.
Excuse me. Do you belong here?
I'm the XO.
Commander Rydek. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was you.
Paul. Calloway, right?
Yes. You know, it means a lot that you remembered. What, are you doing back here? I don't mean to pry, but first officers don't usually go digging around engineering compartments.
Sorry, it's not something I can go into.
Right, of course. Forget I asked.
There is one thing you can help with. Have you seen anyone else in here recently that might seem out of the ordinary? Maybe someone who doesn't work in engineering.
Not that I can think of, but I can ask around. I'm here almost all the time, but maybe someone else noticed something?
Thanks, but I'll talk to Commander Chovak about it.
Okay. Well, let me know if I can be of any help.
Hey, do me a favor, don't shoot me in the back
Oh, I'll leave you alone already.
when I'm dealing with this. Thanks.
Oh, come to think of it, that Hotari woman was down here earlier with Dr. Duvall finishing the last of the bioscans.
Tylus?
That would be out of the ordinary, right?
Thank you.
I hope she's not replaced. I like her. Oh well, time to murder her. Stab. Without hesitation, too, I just walk up to Talus. Hi, Talus. Stab. What? Why?
Maybe Tylus saw something.
Maybe Talus is something.
Tylus, can I speak to you for a moment?
Of course.
Oh God, Blade of all. That would be awful.
Something wrong?
There's something happening. I may need your help. This is important.
How can I help?
When you were in engineering with Dr. Duvall, did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Or anyone?
Not particularly. Why?
I found this, hidden in a compartment down there.
That's Tkonian technology. Does that mean there's a scion on board? But Dr. Duvall bioscanned everyone. Every deck, every crew member. I've seen the logs. She couldn't have been more thorough.
It's entirely possible it was Miranda who planted the device before we caught her.
But we can't assume anything at this point. It could be anyone.
That includes both of us.
You want me to get scanned? Better to know for sure, right? I'll admit, I was around the scions as much as anybody.
I would feel more comfortable if you did.
I understand.
And she's good.
Clear.
Now it's your turn.
Sure.
And she stabs us.
Clear.
Don't sound so surprised.
You spend plenty of time with the scions as well. You never know.
Let's get to it.
There is one nice thing about the Tkon's method of assimilation. It's slow and it's loud. A Borg drone can walk up to you and be like, and you're done. That's it. Couple of tubules, couple of nanites injected in about a second, and you're gone. They have to be like, big flowing line, screaming pain, and then it takes a few seconds, and then you're assimilated, right? A little harder to keep that subtle or quiet. That would have been an interesting twist, though, if it was us, and we've actually been playing at Tkon Scion this whole time. That's just, that would have been kind of cool, right?
The search starts in engineering. Whoever planted the device most likely did it within the last few hours. So I'll start by running a scan, tracking everyone who came through engineering over the last day, in reverse order.
This could take forever to sort through the number of people that were in engineering.
I'll filter out the duplicates.
That helps.
As I say, filters, hello? I'm actually, so this is going to sound like a weird thing. I'm glad they remember that filters exist. One of the weirdest problems Star Trek tends to have is they assume they don't have sort filters on their tech. I'm dead serious. Now, that's probably because the writers themselves weren't super familiar with technology when they were writing Star Trek. It's actually the worst in TNG, because by the time you get to the DS9 and Voyager, they start to remember that such things like that exist. But it's nice to remember they can be like, all right, hang on. Filter, 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 sort, search, done, right? Yeah, exactly, FML word. Like, obviously computers existed. We've talked about this before. Tech exists and then is aware of, like, you know, the people who are involved in its development are aware of it. And then the people who are involved in its development and distribution are aware of it. And then people who are hobbyists who are really into it are aware of it. And then people who are passively aware of the concept are into it. And then the common consciousness, you know, the public is aware of it. That's the very end of that step. So a lot of tech goes back to like the 50s and 60s, but we didn't become aware of it until like the 80s and 90s range. That's all over the place. Anyways.
Cross-referencing this list with everyone who's traveled to Hotari.
Now this is manageable.
Filtering for outliers. People who don't work in engineering. Let's see who's left. No, this can't be right.
What?
Of the people that went to Hotari and visited engineering, it could only have been Captain Solano.
According to this, he was here while you went down to Delphi Ardu 4. Which would have been the perfect opportunity. And no one would question him. He's the captain.
Yeah, he just has to say power word command, that's an order, and things just happen.
I've known Captain Solano for almost my entire life. I wouldn't be here, or who I am, without his help and guidance. If this is true. If they really got him. Then this is just devastating.
I know it doesn't look good, but we don't know for sure. Not yet.
So scan him.
What happened when Dr. Duval bioscanned Captain Solano?
That's just it. She never did.
How is that possible?
Something more urgent would always come up. There was nothing she could do. But performing a bioscan is the only way to be absolutely sure.
That's not going to be easy. First thing I need to do is get this device to Portal.
Yeah, I'm going to call red herring on this.
And good luck.
I hope.
I'll need it.
This whole section feels like it's pushing into the, you know, who can we trust, Among Us, Changeling, blah, 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 you know, it's, right? Social deduction game, right? It's drifting into that whole, we don't know who to trust thing. And I think it's just trying to bleed into that rather than actually have any validity. I don't think it's the captain.
The device.
Also true, Galvan.
Interference is gone. I have located Galvan's ship more precisely. He's in the Usonia system.
So then it worked.
This whole region was one of the most sacred for the ancient Tkon. What many consider the birthplace of our civilization. See these comets and planetoids in the outer orbits? Based on their current trajectory, that's Galvan's destination. And legend tells us it's the location of what was once our largest arsenal. Not that we needed it in the late stages of the Empire, but it was there as a precaution nonetheless.
We have to somehow intercept him. How long till he arrives?
Oh, he's much too far ahead of us. We'll never arrive before he does. If Galvan and the other Scions secure the arsenal, they will become extremely dangerous. My people had such power at the height of the Empire. The Tkon were as gods, keeping absolute control over countless worlds. I must speak with them directly. However, the presence of this device is worrying. It's highly likely it was placed here by a scion hidden among your crew, and it is unlikely this interference device was the scion saboteur's only trap. If we reach Galvan and the saboteur cripples your ship, we will be at their mercy. Even my powers will not be able to protect us. Do you know who it is? They may well do more damage if left alone. Time is not on your side.
I don't know for sure. We're still investigating.
And we're losing valuable time. Bioforming was so rare in the time of the Empire that I am not able to detect if it has taken place. Whoever you suspect, proof is something you will have to provide on your own.
I'll have it. Once I've bioscanned the person I suspect. I just need to visit Dr. Duval.
That's quite the claim. Told me you were worried about him. But I never imagined this was what was wrong.
I wouldn't be asking you if there was any other possibility.
That would explain why Solano has been too busy for a bioscan lately.
As the ship's doctor, you have the authority to declare him unfit to serve.
Well, if you're right, this is the worst-case scenario. Challenging your own captain is a tall order. Are you sure you're prepared for this? If you fail, that's it. The end of your career. Maybe your life.
I am. I have to be.
Good. You know what this is going to take. I'm in. We can't pull this off with just the two of us. I
Actually, yes, you can.
technically have the authority to make Solano undergo a scan, but in reality, he can and will refuse to do it. We need at least another member of the senior staff to support your claim, or this could all blow up in our faces.
You know, I was just complaining about this earlier today. No, you don't. I'm sorry. First of all, the CMO absolutely overrides him in medical matters, which this absolutely applies. And second of all, if the XO and the CMO both say, hey, yeah, Captain, do this, that's it. That's all the authority they need. Two bridge officers, staff officers, flat out stating, check this in, done. That's it. And I'm not going to blame the game for that. Want to, but I'm not gonna, because that's just Trek. Like I said, Trek just likes to portray this, oh my god, the captain might be wrong or replaced or possessed or whatever, as if it's this huge big deal and we cannot go against it no matter what the cost. And it's like, I actually remember that, Ross. We watched that episode recently. That was Year of Hell. Yeah, they're following the precedent. Here we are.
You better think long and hard about who you can trust.
You know, we're still in Among Us territory. Possibly if a mail word. True, Colgrim.
Thought we'd be stopped dead. At least stuck at impulse power.
The Tkon enhancements must be able to brute force limited bursts of warp output.
Yeah, but they won't get to wherever they were headed at this rate. They're just limping along now.
So where does that put us?
Maybe I can answer that.
Actually, it occurs to me, and I know this just probably speaks to my mentality, but you know what I would do? First and foremost, I would insist Duval run I would run a scan on Duval and let Duval run a scan on me. Just like we just did with Tylus. Mutual assurance, we're good. Cool. Second thing I would do is I would walk up to the captain's office with her, with the scanning device on hand, and say, Captain, we're going to scan you. And the captain's like, nah. Then I would stun him and persist with the scan anyways. And then, if he's sus, cool, and if he's not, we'll deal with that later. I'm sorry, and I'm going to be really, really blunt about this. This kind of a situation is no time to be pussyfooting around. We don't care about careers or what'll look bad on the record at this point. There's a threat over there that needs to be dealt with now. So, we're going to walk up there and just be like, all right, let's do it. Bzz. Scan. Now, I've already given my impression. I think he doesn't actually have it. It's too much of an obvious red herring. So I think he's just being the captain. Yes, Ross, but that's an acceptable risk. I put this uniform on because I decided to go ahead and serve. If I'm thinking about my career instead of the possible infiltration of the captain of my ship, if I am actually putting myself over the needs of the mission, my crew, and the Federation itself, then I do not deserve to wear this uniform. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't think it's actually the captain. Yeah, if I wanted to do that, I would have served as a counselor on the Federation Council. Which is actually a real thing. Alright, so, meanwhile, back to a guy who works for a living. Let's see here. Oh my god, there's so much crap in here. And yeah, that Judy speech that Riker gave us, he gave us for a reason. How do I... I hope the captain lives. As weird as that sounds, as much as I rag on him, he's actually a pretty interesting character. Definitely the best antagonist we've had so far.
I got the ship's heading.
They've changed course. Drastically.
Looks like they're headed here. The Usonia system. They might stop there.
Can we use the Zeldi's comms to signal your fleet?
Comm systems are locked.
Surprisingly, yes, Ross. Yeah.
Oh!
For the most part, I've been enjoying the characters. I should. It's a Telltale game. That really should be something they're good about.
The inertial dampeners can barely keep up. If they keep forcing this ship to make these short warp jumps, they're going to tear it apart.
Zeldi is still made by Lydian hands, despite all this Tkon corruption. We'll hold.
We just gotta stay safe until Starfleet can find us.
2 months later.
Your people. Is there somewhere you go when you die?
Yeah, the Klingon hell for some reason.
No. On my homeworld, some people think they can cheat death in a way by joining with the Trill symbiont. But that's not a life to me.
What about you? Is there another plane of existence for you? With every passing battle, as I get older, I think about it more.
I believe there's an afterlife.
You do?
Yeah.
Then you should understand this. My people have a special journey. When Lydians die, we rejoin our comrades, family, and ancestors.
On the parade grounds of Cirella?
That is just one part of it, but yes. Death is not the end for us. So, even if some part of Itasca remains, by letting the Tkon use her body, at best we are delaying the inevitable next step for her. At worst, we are leaving her as a prisoner in her own mind. You want to save the transformed. So do I.
Now that I've seen it happen, does it make me a hypocrite to say he has a point? What if we can't get them back? We can't leave them like that, right?
I think Itasca would want to be released. To think of what she could be going through right now. It's a torturous idea.
What you're talking about is mercy. And that's an honorable goal.
That seems easier to live with than being driven by revenge. I had a sister, a twin. It's very rare among the Trill.
You never told me that.
She was one of the youngest hosts to ever join with a symbiont. A sentient creature that lives in our body. It's considered a great honor. The symbiont can bring centuries of knowledge and wisdom to the host. But sometimes, the symbiont personality suppresses the host entirely. My sister was the closest person in the world to me. I knew she would be different after joining. But she drew more and more distant. The room we shared growing up was foreign to the both of us. And eventually she, or whoever she'd become, cut me out entirely. So I left for Starfleet and swore I'd never go back. I couldn't stand the thought of seeing her. Someone who looked like my sister. Sounded like her. But wasn't.
Yeah, call me weird. I like this. This is also the first scene I've liked this woman in. Because, like, first of all, it is a good parallel to draw. Second of all, it's something that Trek itself has done a weirdly large amount to not touch on. Oh, don't mistake me. They did some decent stuff with Dax over the 7 years of DS9. But all of it was just kind of made up on the fly. And most of it was more surface level. They didn't really delve into it all that much, especially because Dax itself was kind of a benevolent hybrid, I think is the way I'm going to put that. Yeah, they tried a little bit of stuff with Ezri. I don't remember her name. What is your name? Edsalar. What's funny about this is I was planning to use the Trill as more of a talking point in our DS9. Because of course I am. It's such an obvious thing to dig into, right? And however much they insist and say that it's some big benevolent thing, what is functionally happening in every way that matters is the moment you joined, you're dead. There's a new person in your place. And the moment that joining ends, that person is dead. And then they go join another person, and so forth and so on, right? Like, I'm sorry. It's pretty defined. We also know that after joining, generally speaking, there's no pulling you back out. We also know, even in DS9, even in canon DS9, that the symbiotes are considered like supreme, effectively elite. I don't want to use the word aristocratic, but they're definitely valued higher than the life of a normal Trill, right? Yeah, a noble, exactly. Blue Bloods. You kind of see why. Like, it's not even an evil thing. In real life, Blue Bloods were considered better because they were trying to do that as a means to control the masses. In the case of the symbiotes, those really are entities, which, entities is really the wrong word. Those really are boxes filled with centuries upon centuries of memories and experience, right? There is a built-in, innate value to a symbiote, right? So there's a logic to them being valued so much. But that should still probably be a talking point. Never mind, like, any actual malevolence on board. I'm not even talking about that direction. Yeah, Dax is pretty old. The Dax was literally around in the TOS era, for God's sakes. Yeah, exactly, Bionic Punk. It's just... Anyways, plasticine is what I'm trying to get at here.
So, losing Miranda like this, it opened an old wound.
Never really closed up in the first place.
You remind me of Itasca.
I do.
Bonds are not made by what runs through your veins, but the blood you spill together.
Agreed.
Itasca was my family in that way. I want you to know there is nothing I won't sacrifice to win this fight. But if we're lucky enough to survive, I'd be honored if you'd count me as one of your tribe.
This guy's been growing on me a lot.
As Itasca was.
Even a couple of engineers like us?
You are many things.
I don't need to wait that long. We've bled together. No one else will know what we've been through. That makes us a tribe. Right here.
I'll take that.
Will they not cease this madness?
I don't do it on purpose, Blade Devil, I swear.
Is that the Veskar?
Another one of yours?
Not anymore. They've corrupted it, just like the Zeldi.
Now there are 2 ships. Did this just get better or worse?
Much worse.
Certainly doesn't bode well for the crew of the Veskar. So many lives stolen.
It's worse. This is definitely worse.
Thanks. That really helps.
This doesn't look like the Aphelion. What are they doing here?
You don't think they're just meeting their buddies?
Maybe, but then why are their buddies here?
Prepare for transfer.
The storm! It's back!
And the obvious answer is they called in their other ship so they could beam over to it and then finish their trip, right?
Scanning. Tetrametric radiation is dropping. The Zeldi's dropped to minimal power levels.
It's running off just the one warp core now.
That means...
They've sent the Cartabula to that other ship.
Which is now taking off. Yeah, I mean, duh, honestly. You know, if I could talk for a second, I think one of the reasons I tend to like assholes who stop it over time, and hear me out, I think there's like an objective, like a structural reason for this. It's because they, by definition, take more work, right? Don't mistake me, I like a positively inclined character to begin with, but like, if they're just, hey, from word one, right, from the very beginning of the story, there's not a lot of arcs that they tend to go through there. By contrast, someone like, random example, Waka over in FF10, there's the arc, right? I love character arcs. I mean, don't mistake me, I love good characterization, but I also love good character arcs. And yeah, someone turning it around, that arc can make them more enjoyable. And yeah, that's exactly why I ended up liking Eugene. That's exactly right. And why I never ended up liking Twitface. Mutiny on the Resolute. Okay, I guess we know where this is going. But yeah, some characters can just stay the same and be good top to bottom. Cecil in FF4 is arguably an example of that. Raynor, I think, would arguably qualify. But don't mistake me, there's a better character than Raynor in StarCraft 2. Yeah, Rapunzel, another great example. But Raynor's still a good character, right? I still like him as a character. Yeah, just scan him. There we go. Should be great, Blade Devil. I love it. All right. Get your votes in. Do you think he's the Scion infiltrator? Yes or no? What do you think? I've already given my vote. I don't think he is, but I could be wrong.
Something wrong, Captain?
No, nothing's wrong. In fact, I was just going to call for you. I'm needed down in engineering. The bridge is yours.
Surely we've scanned the doctor by now. We scanned Tylus earlier, right? And we saw it only takes a second, especially when we're already in the sickbay. I want all three of them on my side here. But I have to pick one ally? Alright, hold on. Let's see what the game says. Okay, so she's reassured and whatever. Okay, he's definitely positively inclined towards us. And he's... Apparently all three of them are positively inclined towards us. Yeah, why do we pick only one? Seriously. I want to pick all three. Being real, if I'm for some reason trolley problemed into one person, I'd take the CMO. Or not the CMO, sorry, the CSO, excuse me. Westbrook. That's his name. So, we're going to do that. We're going to commit to it.
Commander Westbrook, a word, please.
I'm busy here, so let's make it quick. What's this about?
The captain may have been compromised. I have reason to believe he's been bioformed, and is now actively working against us.
Come on. You can't be serious.
Someone is sabotaging the mission. They planted a Tkonian device in engineering. Captain Solano was in engineering while we were on Delphi Ardu 4, and he purposely evaded Dr. Duval's bioscan.
That's ridiculous. I just spoke with him a few minutes ago. He was as normal as ever. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do.
Listen, I know we've had our differences, but I need you to hear me out on this.
What evidence do you have to even support this preposterous claim?
I've actually already given both pieces of evidence.
I'm working on that.
Right. You've rarely put your trust in me before. Which, ironically, only makes your story more believable. You're clearly not looking for whoever is most likely to go along with you. If you go through with this, and you're right about Solano, you'll be the new captain of the Resolute.
I hoped I would be captain someday, but I didn't want it to happen like this.
I'll have your back, but you damn well better be right.
I also give him credit for acknowledging the exact same thing that we were just talking about. The fact that he is not exactly the guy who's been totally licking our boots the whole thing. That would be the security officer. And thus is one of the most perfect people to reach out to as an ally on this matter, right? I'm telling you, the CSO has grown on me a lot. Oh no, Bragman. Coleslaw! Death! Death! Good evening, 040. Okay.
It's now or never.
Let's scan his ass.
Captain Solano.
Commander Rydek, we need to talk about... Doctor? What brings you to the bridge?
Just a bit of housekeeping. You owe me a bioscan, Captain.
I don't have time for that right now.
It will only take a moment. I can't put this off any longer.
You can, and you will. All you'll find is that I'm quite reasonably under stress given the circumstances, and you aren't making it better. I'll find you in sickbay when I'm good and ready. Or, if you're gonna stand in the way of the mission, I can find you in the brig instead.
Oh yeah, that's a stable person. Captain, we know with total and 100% certainty that people have been replaced by other entities. So, we need to do a routine scan that will only take seconds to verify that you are not a thing. I don't have time for that. I'll throw you in the brig for suggesting it. I'm sorry. I'll take the court-martial because the court-martial is going to prove me right.
It's merely protocol, Captain. All officers that touch alien soil have to be bioscanned.
I know the protocol. It's not more important than chasing down these Tkonian marauders.
Something that you're not doing actively. And in fact, to be quite honest, you standing here right now is taking longer than the scan would.
The crew looks to you for guidance, Captain. It may seem like a nuisance, but it would set the right example.
What is this?
We need you to comply with the scan, Captain.
That's enough. Drop this. All of you. I'm giving you a direct order, Commander Rydek. Stand down and go back to your post. Now.
That really doesn't work that way.
Let me tell you again. I've been a starship captain since before you were in the Academy. I won't stand for this.
I refuse. So do the others.
Well then, you've left me no choice. Security to the bridge.
Oh, that was fast.
Arrest Commander Rydek. Take her to the brig.
On what charge?
Conspiring with the enemy and mutiny.
We still haven't scanned her.
Captain, please reconsider.
I've given my order.
This is not Captain Solano. He's been bioformed. He's a scion.
You're out of your mind.
Commander Rydek has proof.
What the... Why is this a thing that's happening?
He sabotaged our efforts to track Galvan with this. He planted it in engineering while we were down on Delphi Ardu 4.
Lies! Perpetrated by the only Tkon in our midst, Portal 6-3. He's actively trying to divide us from within.
Captain Solano has refused to be bioscanned because he knows it will reveal he's a scion.
Take her to the brig, or I'll do it myself. Oh!
Thank you. I don't even know who shot, and I don't care. Thank you. We have a stun setting, for Christ's sakes.
Wait! Stand down! That's an order!
Oh, magic words.
What is the meaning of this? Everyone hold until we get answers. This cannot happen on the bridge of a Federation starship.
I can prove I'm right if you just give me a chance.
Seriously, scan his ass.
Wrong, then I will face the consequences.
Scan his ass.
If you're wrong, there's no coming back from this.
That is not true! You are wrong! I'm sorry! Even in Star Trek, they'd look over the logs and be like, oh yeah, no, you're good. Okay. Even in Star Trek, which likes to over-dramatize mutinies and over-dramatize taking out the captain and over-dramatize court-martials, even in Star Trek, you know what happened when Picard got torn through the rakes after the Stargazer trial? He got a medal for that, kept his command, and ended up becoming captain of the flagship of the fleet. I will take your court-martial, sir, because even if I am wrong about this, I am still doing everything right. Sorry. Moving on.
I'm going to settle this once and...
Seriously, scan his ass! We've taken way too long of this. Also, this is funny. I even said flat out, let's just stun him and scan his ass. Here we are. Well... I don't read nonsense. What is it?
Commander Rydek was right. Captain Solano has been compromised.
Wow!
He's been bioformed into a Tkon.
I'm legitimately surprised by that. I am actually surprised by that. Like, I'm still not even sure that's true. It could still be the Doctor. It could still be the Doctor.
As the Chief Medical Officer of the USS Resolute, I am relieving Captain Zachary Solano of command.
Take him to the brig.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen Trek do this kind of double-blind thing. Like with Bashir.
I don't know what to say. I'm stunned.
No. Captain Solano is stunned.
We all are.
Well, there's no going back now. You are, rightfully, the captain of the Resolute. And I'm with you from here on out. I need you to know that.
Unfortunately, We lost one of the best captains in Starfleet.
You know how much I admire Captain Solano.
Yeah, he's dead, by the way. To be really clear about that. He dead, yo.
Can't even imagine how much I'll miss him. But what's done is done.
Yeah, I'm curious when it happened. Time to take the big chair. Yeah, I noticed everyone else hated me for not choosing them, which is just whatever. Yeah, I guess with the CSO, just got the XO job. You wanted it. I like how she doesn't want this, because that makes sense. She's always, like, this is, I forget what that trope is called, but it's when you get something, but in all the wrong ways, right? When it's like, you know, I've always wanted to have such and such, and then it happens badly, and you're like, well, not like this, right? And also, that's a good point. The captain was fine all the way back in the intro. Remember that? He, yeah, Riker and Beth of Both Worlds, good example of that. We disobeyed his order, and then he was like, you know what, you're right, and actually backed off and then praised us for that call. Yeah, he was a bit obstinate, but not like, we shouldn't inform Starfleet.
Set course for the Usonia system. Maximum warp. It's time to face Galvan.
Yes, Commander. Sorry. Captain.
You may call me ma'am.
Engage.
What, Legival? You may call me. Sorry. Oh, that'd be funny, Blade of All. That'd be awful. Wow, that's fast. We have a plan of action, right?
Taking fire. Red alert. All hands to battle stations. Shield status.
Set to maximum, but with the algorithms compromised, they may not do much.
Captain, that other Elydian ship is here.
I'm not even gonna go into this algorithms thing. Hey Tara, let me guess. Mongolians?
Zeldi?
We're outnumbered.
Captain, your orders.
Evasive maneuvers.
Aye, Captain.
Which we should probably already be doing. While firing. These are not mutually exclusive actions.
The Vescar's warp engines are powering up.
Any Horde faction? Gotcha.
Our warp engines are offline.
Yeah, we're a research vessel.
That must have been their goal. They didn't want us to chase the Vescar.
According to my readings, they also took the Cartabula with them.
Not so far, mortal, no.
They're not breaking off. We have to destroy the Zeldi before it destroys us.
With Diaz and Edsalar still over there?
They'll need to evacuate.
Meanwhile...
Come on.
I almost have it.
They gotta know we're here. Hurry. You got it?
Got it. Diaz to Resolute.
We read you, Diaz.
This is Ermot. It's good to hear your voice.
Mr. Wizard, get us the hell out of here.
Everyone wants to know.
She's right here. She can tell you herself.
What about Ensign What's-His-Face? Who?
I'm not dead yet.
Very good, Petty Officer.
Can you get us out of here?
I can't transport you out while the Zeldi's shields are up. Our phaser fire won't even get through. Is there another way off that ship?
We'll find a way.
Whatever you do, you'll have to be quick about it, because we can't give you much more time. We can't evade the Zeldi forever.
Understood. Diaz out. We're gonna have to get out of here the old-fashioned way.
Elydian ships have no escape pods.
Why? 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 That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. just. Yeah, you have 4 warp cores, so you have extra redundancy, and you don't have escape pods? You what? There is no other landing zone.
We can leave out that cargo bay we transported to before. But then there's the vacuum of space to contend with.
Those freight containers. Maybe we could use those to make an escape pod?
Is that even possible?
We're gonna make it possible. Unless you have a better idea.
Let's go.
I've polarized the hull plating. That should allow us to take a few more hits.
Here's one of them.
Enemy phaser impact dissipated.
Heading, Captain?
Oh, wow. That's actually accurate. Delta is the offense and Beta is the defense. Holy crap.
Attack pattern Beta 3. Circle around that asteroid and come back firing.
Aye, Captain.
For the record, Alpha is the onslaught. It's kind of similar to Battletech. Alpha Strike. Attack pattern Alpha is go in with everything blazing.
Zeldy, in range.
Fire!
Little details.
Zeldy's shields down to 82%.
Wow, we scratched the hole, metaphorically speaking.
We're doing damage, but they're hitting us right back. We'll run out of hull before we penetrate their shields.
Perhaps I can be of assistance. I can modify your impulse engines to amplify their meager output and avoid more of their attacks. But I will need full access to your propulsion systems.
That goes against dozens of Starfleet regulations.
It's not a security risk if the alternative is destruction.
To me, it's simple. You can take this beating and hope you can weather it. Or will you put your trust in me? Left everything behind for you. The least you can do is put your faith in me.
All right.
Commander Ermot, give Bortle access to the propulsion systems. You're going to have the ship in your hands. Don't let me down.
This will take a moment.
God, I hope he doesn't betray us. I'm going to be disappointed if he does. He really is just a godlike alien, isn't he? Oh! And now he takes over! Please, Stan Latigo. I work for a living.
Your ship has let up its fire.
That gives us some time.
All right. One of these freight containers should do the trick.
Be quick.
No, he put magic crystals over it from Elward.
For all of us to fit inside. Something we can make airtight.
Like this one.
Not enough room for the big guy.
Not this one.
No way this will hold up in a vacuum. Here we go. This'll work.
That's great, but it's not airtight yet.
No problem. We'll just seal it up.
This container is extremely heavy. Even with the containment field open, it won't leave the bay quickly.
Oh, thank goodness, no
I'll find
mayo.
something to accelerate our exit.
Yeah, I've got an idea. Have you ever seen Indiana Jones 4?
Glancing blow. Very little damage.
I cannot keep this up for long.
Their phaser banks are recharging. Now's our window. We have to strike back.
I agree.
Their next barrage could be our last. Better make this count.
Target their weapon systems. Take the teeth out of their bite.
That could make them run. Just like the Veskar, we'd lose Diaz and Etzelar again. Hit their engines. We've already lost the Veskar.
We need to protect ourselves first.
Target their propulsion systems. I don't want them going anywhere.
Targeting their engines.
Yeah, sorry, that is almost objectively the correct choice there.
Whoa. We gotta move it now.
These will give us the push we need.
Those are explosives.
Can we talk about this later? Let's go! Let's go! I played Just Cause 3, I know what to do.
I'll set the containment field to deactivate, and then run back. We can detonate by remote.
We'll need to seal the doors from inside the container once we do.
Before all the air sucks out of the cargo bay.
Correction, that's blown out, sir. Don't die, please. Okay, good.
Just a few more moments.
Hurry!
What are they doing in there?
Goodbye. So, you experienced death one time. Have you ever experienced death by asphyxiation? And or freezing and or your organs coming out of you?
Please, help me.
No. The Tkon get what they deserve.
Don't leave me to die.
I don't know. Can we really leave her?
No.
We can't. We don't have the time. We have to seal ourselves in.
This ship can't fly. Sidron set it to self-destruct. Please, Amenta.
It's not her.
No. I know it's not.
Carter, we have to seal the doors.
She's got strong arms.
Get this lifeboat off the ship before Sidron blows it all to hell.
We're going.
Yeah, sorry. This is another no-choice situation, so bye.
Hetzelar to Resolute.
I have the away team.
Go ahead.
We're about to exit.
We see the cargo bay containment field is deactivated.
Get that tractor beam ready. And you should know, the Zeldy is set to self-destruct.
That probably should have been the first thing you said.
Enough damage to the Zeldy first. It'll prevent the self-destruct sequence from completing.
We can't wait any longer. We have to fire.
Captain, they're almost out of there.
We need to act fast.
Hold all fire! Get out of there, Petty Officer. Do it now!
You heard her.
Yeah, seriously. Maybe I spent less time wasted earlier. Now that seconds count. Again. I saw that, mortal. Whee! Fire. 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 Hello? Hello?
We're out! I have them on sensors. Tractor beam activating.
Locked on and ready to fire.
Fire!
I liked that sequence more than I probably should. It's got some holes and some problems. But they were also smarter about it than they had to be. Yeah, the POV swapping, the reasonably well-directed and storyboarded action sequence, some people making decisions quickly and properly. Even the Tkon guy helping us out didn't just magic away the problem, he just gave us a bit of aid, right? That was solid. Holy crap. Yeah, some competence on display, too. I have no idea if this counts as canon linear. It could. It's in the gap there, in between Nemesis and Star Trek 2009. Yeah, Portal didn't fix the scenario like they would normally do with this kind of situation.
Tractor beams locked on. We have them. They'll be pulled into the docking bay shortly.
There's something else. I tracked a transporter signal to the planetoid moments before the Zeldi detonated.
Sidron.
There's a Tkon structure there. It's the reason they were here. It's the reason we are here. Now.
I have to see it for myself. We'll go there together.
I had assumed as much.
Is this the Tkon arsenal Galvan was after?
Legend says this region once held the sacred mysteries of the Tkon Empire. Our greatest treasure. Our most fearsome technology.
I want a full security detail. Westbrook, Bredrosian, you're with me. Mr. Ermont, you have the con.
Wait. You're not the first officer anymore. The captain is supposed to stay with the ship. I'm surprised Lieutenant Bedrosian didn't raise that first.
I thought Captain Rydek knew what she was doing.
You're right. But this is too important for me to sit out. You'll just have to make sure nothing happens to me down there.
Of course, Captain.
We'll deal with the first officer vacancy when we return.
No, he gets the job.
Mr. Ermont?
Yes, Captain.
Or we're giving it to Ermont for some reason. That's funny. I'm sorry, the CSO, right? The Arsenal of Eternity.
Not that I can see.
High alert, everyone. The enemy could be anywhere. Follow my lead.
Is she gonna betray us? Oh my god, she's gonna betray us, isn't she?
Let's make this a short mission, all right?
That's the plan.
I'm no security officer. I'll do my best to make sure nothing happens to you, Captain.
Yeah, exactly, Blade Duval. And if I might be so bold, I want an XO who is not completely on my side.
Make quick work of the ice?
In general. If I wanted someone to tell me what I wanted to hear, well, I'd be a piss poor captain, wouldn't I? Jellicoe! That is what Picard wanted, you're right. Also true, Colvin. I'm just waiting to find out that, no, it's Duval this whole time, and Solano's fine, or something. Or maybe we can reverse the bioforming, and it's going to work out anyways. I don't know. We'll see.
Is this another Tkon vault?
So it's 2 mysterious alien worlds we've been to in this game now.
I don't see a way in.
Vault in the mines was already open.
There must be some way to activate it.
Portal, can you open it? It is a Tkonian vault.
I thought you'd never ask.
I've noticed the subtitle inconsistency a lot more as we get further into the game.
You're welcome. Better to keep it simple. Sometimes the answer is staring you right in the face.
Thank you. Definitely easier this way.
Wow, I think this is a Tholian station. Look at this place.
Spread out. Let's see what we can find. And stay on high alert. We don't know where the Tkon that beamed down here could be.
I look forward to the malt beer. The roast. Ripe off the bone.
You will need my help, Commander.
How so?
Traversal here is trivial for a Tkon, but only a Tkon. When you come across a device you cannot use, merely call my name.
Will do. Thank you.
And they call it a mine. A mine. It's usually under brickwork, but I tend to agree, Immortal. Speaking of which.
This pattern resembles the transporter device Petty Officer Maris used to escape the Resolute. Portal 6-3?
You wish to make use of this device?
It's a transporter of some kind?
It allows Tkon to move through space instantly a short distance. Very convenient.
That's a
I will
yes.
activate the system for you.
Where does it go?
I'm not sure. The markings here must be from after my time.
Well, only one way to find out.
As I say, I've played Pokemon. I know where this is going. Oh, jeez. What's a Baraiji?
Soil. Just soil. It's not from this planet, nor any planet in the Federation database.
Interesting.
Why is this here?
This is soil from the homeworld. Our capital system. This isn't an arsenal. It's a temple of the ancients. Sacred ground to the Tkon. I took my oath as a guardian of the Empire in a place just like this. You cannot imagine the look of pride in my parents' eyes as they said goodbye. Forever. Sorry. This is the first I've seen of anything new from the Tkon Empire in a very long time. I'm sure you're familiar with the feeling, that sense of loss. I thought I was ready for it, but it cuts to the core of your being, even with your defenses up.
I totally understand that feeling. It's unavoidable and inescapable no matter what you do.
Yes, it's that distant but familiar feeling that's forever just out of reach.
I just keep getting grays with him. That's worrisome. He's gonna turn on us because I keep screwing that up, isn't he? I hope not.
Can you use this to find out more about what Galvan is after?
The information's encrypted. I can only discern that it's a warship. No. It's the Ailon. Perhaps the most powerful Tkonian ship ever built.
It's the crystalline entity.
I can't access the full file, but looking through the ship's schematics, it appears to be equipped with some sort of experimental, highly advanced transporter technology.
Transporter technology? For what?
Captain, you better come see this.
I said it before, I'll say it again. Transporters are the deadliest weapon they've ever invented in Trek. Well, we know that they were trying to teleport their star.
There are more up ahead.
From the looks of it, I'd say someone left in a hurry.
Probably right around the time we showed up.
Which is funny, because that's what the Iconians did, Trihexia. Iconian portal tech was their advantage. That's a lot of people.
I've seen these before. In the other vault. And if all of those are the same as this, then there must be...
Hundreds of millions, if not billions. All that remains of the Tkon civilization. A distinct person, encapsulated in crystalline form. Preserved for all eternity.
Given the size of this vault, there must have been tens of thousands of these cases, representing billions and billions of Tkon.
A threat on a truly massive scale. One your Federation can't easily contend with. What you have to understand is, these life forms were preserved for the benefit of the Tkon civilization, as a means of safeguarding the health and well-being of any Tkon, should they fall prey to illness or injury. They were never intended to be used for this purpose.
There you are wrong. This was always their purpose, to restore the glory that was lost.
I know it was futile, but there's no reason to hesitate.
Please. Congratulations on your first victory in battle, Captain Rydek. You killed a great many of my compatriots, some that I've known for millennia. Are you proud of how much death you've caused? Each Tkon life is precious, irreplaceable. Centuries of knowledge and culture lost with each one you murder.
Your friends died because of you. If you hadn't attacked us, there could have been a peaceful solution.
I've seen the kind of results diplomacy gets in this era. You can hardly blame me for wanting a quicker result. Thankfully, I don't have to convince you of anything. We'll all be on the same side soon enough.
You can't just bioform whoever you want. Not without a fight.
Ah, but that's just it. There won't be a fight. In fact, most won't even know what's happened. 1 minute you're standing there as you. The next, you're standing here as one of us.
He's talking about mass transformation. That's what the Aphelion was built for.
The transporter. It'll reconstitute your DNA and bioform you into a Tkon in the blink of an eye. This is what they'll use as ammunition.
In a manner of speaking, yes. Of course, that's the simple version. But the end result will be the same.
You're talking about a crime against sentient life on a mass scale.
Or an evolutionary process where the strongest and most capable survive.
No. That has nothing to do with what you're saying, you moron.
The Aphelion is on its way here as we speak.
And if you're referring to Picard, as in Picard from the Picard show, Linear, then yes, I'm aware of that.
Now it's only a matter of time. You can't delay that which is inevitable. Which makes your next decision fairly simple, brother. You are, after all, a portal.
I am.
Yes, I know what you meant, Linear.
Your sole purpose is to serve as a guardian of the Tkon Empire. But you stand here surrounded not by your fellow Tkon, but by members of the Federation. By people who deny our fundamental right to exist. You swore an oath to protect the Empire. And I can only assume that's why you're here.
There is only one true Tkon here, and that's Portal. You're a scion, a disgrace to the memory of the Tkon, brought back through unnatural means.
I only tolerate your presence so long as you continue to amuse me. Which side are you on?
Alright, do you think he's going to betray us? I have a feeling this is going to be a check. And I have a feeling I'm going to fail it. And I have a feeling that's going to piss me off. Let's avoid it, Lunaris, because I'm pretty sure I know what you're referencing. You are, after all, referencing the Picard thing in Picard Season 3. Probably. Which is why I was asking you that, but you didn't respond, so I'm just going to assume. Well, Portal?
Captain Rydek, long-range sensors suggest a massive spacecraft approaching in the distance.
The time has come. I hope we speak again, brother.
Oh, apparently this is not the time for him to betray us. Whatever.
Estimated time to contact, 6 minutes and counting.
We can't stay here. We have to get back to the ship.
And we have to preserve these souls. We must take them back to your ship.
Those crystals are ammunition to be used against us. We have to destroy them. Bombard the site from orbit.
What? Oh, the transporter thing. Yeah, no, it was one of the only times I've actually used the transporter properly. Yeah, I'm sorry. A, these people aren't scions. B, that's literal genocide. Yeah, we don't... I know we talk a lot about making dark choices and being willing to pull the trigger if need be, but these are civvies. I'm sorry. No.
I'll decide once we're safely aboard the Resolute. For to transport.
Yeah, that's not a dilemma. It's like Mortal said earlier. Most of the choices aren't. They're so obvious which choice you should pick.
You have to hear me out, Captain. I lost my eyes because of you. And still, I've always stood by you. But if you bring those things on board, I'll have no choice but to resign.
If they're taken to the Aphelion, they will be forced into new bodies, brought back to life in a way they never asked for.
They're not living beings, but they're still dangerous. And if you don't make decisions to protect us, we're gonna end up like Solano.
CSO?
You, me, the entire crew. We're all next.
So we have to commit genocide. Like, does she not understand that this is not actually a choice? I don't think she does. I don't think she processes that. Like, I'm sorry. Think about this logically for a second. If we, you know, blow up all of the things, and then the Tkon show up and kill us, then we were never going to win anyways. If we save them, and the Tkon show up and kill us, then we were never going to win anyways. It doesn't matter. If, however, we are to presume the possibility of success, then if we're going to go and, like, I'm saying this wrong. Blowing up all those innocent people doesn't increase our chances of success against our actual enemy. Ergo, there's not even a reason to begin to consider this in the equation, because it's not going to change the equation at all. It's like 15 plus 3 equals 57. Also, over here is a 5, for no reason, not to attach or anything. Yeah, the only thing that's going to do is piss off Portal. We have a bargaining chip if we grab them. Portal's on our side if we save them. And, I don't know. I know that people make fun of me for this, but I'm not really a big fan of genociding an entire species. And even if you presume the idea that these aren't people, which is something you can argue, that's still an entire gargantuan cache of knowledge and history and culture, which we're just gonna... No. Resign your post.
2 minutes and counting. It's headed straight toward the vault. The Aphelion is coming into view now, Captain.
On screen.
What do you think they would do if they couldn't bioform people, Lord Harriman? Do you think they'd just go home? They're going to kill us one way or another. They're either going to kill us in order to replace us, or kill us because they're mad. What's the change? What's the difference? That is totally a Tholian ship. Look at that thing.
Arrival at the second vault in less than a minute.
I would remind you, those life forms are Tkon, not science. Tkon. They're not your enemy.
Right or wrong, history will judge you for this moment.
Yeah, no, I've already worked through this. Let's go.
Transport the storage crystals aboard the Resolute.
My biggest concern is much more practical. Like, do we physically have space for these things? We're not in a big ship.
Did I hear that right?
That's an order.
Oh, magic words.
The storage crystals are on board in our cargo bay.
I mean, again, even tactically, if you somehow don't care about any level of morality, we now have the thing they want on our ship. We have hostages. They're a lot less likely to try to destroy our ship when the thing they want is here, you know?
Thank you. I won't forget this.
I hope you realize what you've done.
Yeah.
We don't need another captain who's gonna risk our lives just to feed their ego.
What?
Ship and this crew come first.
Lieutenant.
She has to hear it.
This isn't about me. It's our duty as Starfleet officers to protect life, wherever and however we find it.
Thank you.
And I couldn't let them fall into Galvan and Sidron's hands. I had to do it this way.
And to think, I used to look up to you.
Well, now you can't, because you lost your eyes.
The Aphelion is targeting us, approaching rapidly.
They hit us with that bioforming ray, and it's over. Maximum warp. Get us out of here.
Where, Captain?
Anywhere, you idiot. Target anywhere. Yes, that's Liam O'Brien as Commander Omet. He also voices one of the aliens, which we haven't seen in a while. Yeah, meanwhile, they're running out of air. I hope nobody was in front of that.
There they are!
Hey, and where's Ensign What's-His-Face? He's alive too, right? Where is he? I was just going to tell him I'm pregnant with his child, and I'm so happy he's going to be a father. And he just got word that his actual father, his parents, they just went through chemo, and all the cancer's been excised, so he's going to have grandparents. It's going to be so great. Where is he? He's 2 weeks from retirement. He just gotten a kitten. What's going to happen to the kitten? Okay, for real. You know the biggest problem with the red shirt concept? My opinion. Because the red shirt concept has nothing to do with being a red shirt. It has everything to do with the fact that you kill someone off for no other reason than to prove the situation's serious. It's cheap. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Exactly. There's actually a lot of examples of that. Honestly, the biggest red shirt death that's ever bothered me is on DS9 of all things. Because there's this time where this dude gets, like, freaking disintegrated right on the bridge of Ops. And then we have no idea who he was. And he's never referenced again. Nobody cares that somebody died. True to Trek, that makes this a complete red shirt. The guy who got zapped and the hole burned through his chest, nobody's even acknowledging that he even existed. The reason why sometimes killing off a red shirt works is because it actually matters. Is because it actually has some impact on things and people acknowledge it after it happened. Here, there's a reason I keep calling him Ensign What's-His-Face. I bet you don't even know what his name was. In fact, I bet if we check here, he's not even listed. And I am correct. Yeah, no, he's not even here. His name was Ed Shirt.
You did what had to be done with the Tasker. You said you'd avenge her, and you did. Itasca can rest now. Even if I wavered in the moment. It wasn't a question of time. It was about freeing Itasca.
If you believe, I'm sure you'll see her again.
I do. And I shall.
That's true, Lunaru. Yep, bioscan us.
No surprises here. But your shoulder's separated. If you come with me to sickbay, we can get you fixed up in no time.
Thank you. I'll find you afterwards.
Once again, credit to minor competency. They actually scanned them briefly. Although we still haven't seen a scan for Duvall. One moment, please.
You two, check in at your stations. This thing isn't over yet.
Thank God we saved Ensign What's-His-Face. Did they ever even say his name?
You're really making us proud out there, Diaz. The lower decks don't get a lot of glory.
I'm just getting started.
Ha ha. Especially since that show had been out for like, what, 2 years when this came out? In fact, actually, let's do a little time rejiggering here really quick. Okay, so Lower Decks, the series, started in 2020. One moment. Whoops, wrong thing. This game initially came out over on Epic in May of 2023. So yeah, Lower Decks had been out for 3 years by the time this came out. I was curious.
She was a good little escape pod. Not that I want another ride like that anytime soon.
Yeah, it was fun.
Tell me, did any crew from the Zeldi survive?
Nope.
Well, since the Lydian ships have no escape pods,
Still stupid.
I think it was just us.
I see. I thought so. I had a partner on board. After this mission, she and I were meant to. Doesn't matter. All that matters now is making the Tkon pay for what they've done.
We'll stop them. I promise.
I choose Jar Jar. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check when Lower Decks takes place. I know it's around this era.
Hey, Diaz.
Yeah?
Did you see our people over there? Miranda?
Kapoor, Hauser.
Who?
We saw Miranda and Kapoor, but they're bioformed. And as far as I know, there's no way to undo it.
That means they're not our friends anymore.
What about the guy who got a hole shot through his chest?
We'll have to stop them. No matter what it takes.
Yeah. I guess we have to be ready for that.
Okay. Real talk. Real talk. I was just about to be ready to eat crow and say that they were actually going to acknowledge the death of What's-His-Face. And then they completely walked over it and only talked about the 2 bioformed people. Not the guy who got shot in the chest.
I can't believe it, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing Chovak. Not that I'd expect this kind of welcome from him, but I can just imagine the look on his face.
You know what? I want to see him too. It'll be nice to get one piece of normalcy.
I'm sure we can count on him for that.
I can't believe it! You evaded the Tkon, ejected their warp cores, and lived to talk about it!
That about sums it up.
They're gonna be teaching this at the Academy for years to come. I mean it. Everybody's gonna learn how you pulled it off.
The Academy? Oh, well, I wouldn't know about that.
After this, you'll probably get a personal invitation to show them how it's done. I heard about Belle. Is Miranda?
As far as we know, she's still out there.
Well, I know Captain Rydek will do her best to get her back.
Hold on. Rydek? What about Captain Solano?
He was turned into a Tkon. Rydek had to take over. She's a hell of an officer, but none of us have been up against anything like this. No one has. Not in 500,000 years.
Solano wasn't perfect, but he was a good man. I'm sorry that happened to him.
Yeah, we all are. But we'll rally around Captain Rydek. Talk to you later.
It is agreeable to see you again.
Is that so?
It was by no means a certainty that you would return to duty here.
No, it was not.
But it was my sincere hope you would.
It is agreeable to see you as well, sir.
I concur.
You should know your absences left engineering terribly short-handed. During your sojourn, this department has fallen unacceptably behind schedule. on both regular and irregular duties.
There's been a whole lot of irregularity going around.
I am stating facts, not looking for excuses.
I gotta admit, it's a little flattering that this place went to hell so fast without me. So, I'll take that as a compliment.
I believe factors other than your absence were also to blame. Normally, I would assign you to one of the many pressing repair tasks. But, given your experience on board the Zeldy, I have suggested you join the senior staff briefing as we determine our next course of action. You can commence your maintenance shift afterwards.
Interesting. Hey, getting our infusion. They still haven't fired that gun.
I tended to an Ilidian earlier. Major Sarlet Arminta.
Ah, yes. I met him at the negotiations.
I never would have imagined I'd be here, on the same ship, working together with our oppressors. But now that I am, I can imagine a future where the Hotari and Ilidians are no longer enemies. I always hoped for peace, but it seems so far away. There's still a lot of bad blood. Maybe too much.
Well, if there's any way I can help, let me know.
I'll take you up on that. It's good to have the support of a Starfleet captain, I'm sure.
It's coming along nicely. Thank you, Tylus. I'll take it from here.
Hold still for a second, Deval. Scan, 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 scan. Okay, we're good.
We're almost done.
I have to brief Ambassador Spock in a few minutes.
Ambassador Spock can wait. You have some fences to mend. Personally, I'm against the needless destruction of innocent life forms, so I'm glad you transported the Tkonian crystals onto the ship. But Lieutenant Bedrosian obviously feels otherwise. And right now, you need the full support of your bridge crew. Being an effective leader requires trust, but an issue as divisive as this can create discord.
I still need and value contrary opinions. I don't want everyone agreeing with me when they feel otherwise.
Oh, you'll know when Lieutenant Bedrosian doesn't agree with something. She's not shy about making her opinion known. It's been a chaotic last few days for everyone. You need to name a new first officer in preparation for what's coming. You'll have to work to regain Lieutenant Bedrosian's trust, but if she's removed from consideration, it comes down to Westbrook or Ermot.
Gee, the guy who is literally the perfect XO, or Illidan. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's once again, that's a non-choice. I'm not even being facetious, ignoring the fact that I like the CSO. Remember, I like both characters. That's not a consideration. Westbrook, he pushed back when he should have, and when confirmed, he had my back. He also is someone who doesn't necessarily agree with me, but is still willing to reach out to me in the middle, right? That's pretty much exactly what I want out of an XO.
Obviously, there are pros and cons with each, but ultimately, the decision is yours. Commander Westbrook has seniority and was hoping to be Captain Solano's first officer. Ermot has the knowledge and experience that makes him more than qualified. You really couldn't go wrong with either of them.
Yeah, he's Akira.
At the moment, I'm leaning toward selecting Commander Westbrook as the new first officer.
Also, Kira is one of those interesting things. I don't want to go too much down this rabbit hole, but as I've talked about many times, Trek likes to condense a bunch of roles into one. The slot of the first officer is really two separate roles, possibly more than that. And interestingly enough, Kira's really good at one of them, and Riker's really good at being the other one. Honestly, a setup where I have both as my senior chain staff, oh.
That would be an excellent choice, considering your history. The crew would respect the fact you chose someone likely to challenge your opinions and present a different point of view. You're as good as new.
Thank you, Dr. Duvall.
Always nice to have a captive audience. You really shouldn't keep Ambassador Spock waiting.
Thanks, Duvall. Wait, I feel like being infested by the Borg. Resistance is futile.
I'll meet you inside.
All right, let's see if we can mend a little bit of a fence here.
I'm here to officially tender my resignation from the crew of the USS Resolute.
All right, you're a child. I'm just going to open with that. You have the right. You have the right to resign your service at any point in time for any reason. That's how that works. But, what? You're going to be like, Captain, I disagree with the fact that you didn't commit horrific genocide for no good reason earlier. And, in fact, the decision you did make worked out perfectly well, secured us an alliance with someone who is very helpful in the current crisis, and was made under duress, while simultaneously ensuring we have a weapon against the enemy. I'm afraid, however, that that was not the thing I recommended you do, and therefore I'm going to resign my commission immediately. Does that answer you, Gum Gum?
I cannot in good conscience continue to serve aboard this ship, not while the interests of the enemy take precedent over the safety of the crew.
I'm actually torn on that one. Yeah, no, this is a tantrum. We could deny her request. We can actually do that. No, we didn't, Lord Harriman, interestingly enough. Or at least I was told we didn't. Really, Colgrim? Yeah, why do we want her? I'm gonna go with 1.
Lieutenant, we both know how much we need your help and expertise for the coming conflict. I have no one to replace you.
I understand, Captain, and I apologize.
I'm just too big of a baby to care about that.
But my heart is not in it any longer, and to stay would be a disservice to us both.
Okay, tell you what. Help us through the immediate, urgent crisis we're in the middle of, and then you can resign. How does that sound?
My door is always open if you change your mind.
I appreciate that.
We'll have Ambassador Spock via subspace shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Armand.
I'll notify Lieutenant Bedrosian we're about to begin.
That won't be necessary.
Petty Officers Diaz and Edsalar have first-hand experience with our adversaries. I thought it advantageous for them to join this briefing. I understand this is unusual, but I trust you have no objections?
Talk about moving up in the world.
Excellent idea, Mr. Chovak. They deserve to be here.
Agreed, Colgrim.
What Diaz and Edsalar accomplished aboard the Zeldi is nothing short of remarkable. They're both to be commended, not only for surviving against incredible odds, but for helping our efforts against these scions.
You know, Carter deserves most of the credit.
Yes,
None of us would have made
I
it
do.
We'd all be bioformed by this point.
There were way more people involved than just me. Not only Petty Officer Edsalar, but we had help from an Elydian officer named Arminta as well.
Interesting.
Ambassador Spock is ready for you.
Put him through.
Captain Reindeck, your recent change in station certainly warrants mention, and I trust you to faithfully execute your expanded duties.
2 things I like about that. First, he's on a backdrop of a bunch of frozen waste, which makes sense because he's on Andoria. Most other people probably wouldn't even notice that or care about that. But the second thing is he's got 3D chess there, because of course he is, it's Spock.
Right now, we must keep our attention on the clear and present danger that lies ahead.
That's probably because Leonard Nimoy died 8 years before this game came out on Earth.
The Tkon and their warship. The closest populations are the Hotari and Elydian systems, and they are likely the first targets for mass bioforming. After that lies Federation space. I have advised Starfleet Command to send an impromptu battle group to intercept and assist you, but that will take time. You are our first line of defense. And with our shield algorithms compromised,
We are at a great disadvantage. Of course, you know that as well as I do.
We can take them on ourselves. We've already had some success against the Tkon. We destroyed one of their modified Elydian ships, the Zeldi, in combat.
That was not a true Tkon warship, was it?
No.
Remember, our strength is drawn from our ability to work together towards a common goal.
Have we made any progress in finding a way to defend ourselves from the Aphilion's bioforming weapon?
Currently, our shields will not protect us, but I am compiling all of the information the away team gathered on the Zeldi and cross-referencing it against our own as well as Portal 6-3's methods.
The away team is sitting right here. They survived without getting bioformed, so we know it's possible. So, what's the secret? How do we defend ourselves?
Okay, don't make me regret giving you the exo slot, because that's an extremely dumb question. What's the secret? There's no secret here. They managed to stealth their way through an enemy ship. And they got lucky by having one of the commanders of that ship on hand in order to help them do it. Like, what? Yeah, You two should know the answer to this. What are the 11 herbs and spices? I mean, come on! I'll be right back. Me?
Is there a weakness we can exploit? Something we can do to avoid getting bioformed?
I wish I could tell you the solution. But the truth is, there is no easy answer. There's no defense against bioforming. One-on-one or on a mass scale. At least, not that I know of.
You may not be able to stop it, but it might be possible to slow it down. It's too soon to say for sure, but we've had some promising indications that Duridium can delay the bioforming process.
Really?
It's not a cure. It's not going to bring anyone back we've already lost. But Duridium is a cell stabilizer, so it has the potential to slow down the onset of physical and mental changes, if not entirely prevent them. And we might be the only ship in the fleet with this much Duridium on hand. In fact, a lot of ships wouldn't have any.
I'll forego the rest of my treatments, if it means the crew will be safe.
Captain, you'd die.
That's an honorable intention, but it's not that simple.
Yeah.
It requires a much larger dose to be effective. We don't have enough Duridium on board to protect the whole crew. We barely have enough to protect everyone in this room.
Sounds like it won't do us much good then.
The use case I'd suggest is that it could buy a little time for an officer or a small group to complete a task or mission. But it has to be taken at the moment of exposure to the bioforming mechanism.
Prepare a delivery method for this remedy.
Maybe some kind of like arm thing that's got it in it. I could just inject it when... Maybe like an EpiPen.
That raises the question. What is the mission?
Assuming the Aphelion uses shields of some kind, I don't expect it will be easy to bypass their defenses.
We may not be able to block the Aphelions' attack either. But if they do strike, we know their weapon uses transporter technology. We might be able to backtrack their signal path.
Like we did to evacuate Captain Rydek from Tau.
Exactly. We could send an away team onto the Aphelion.
So we could destroy it from the inside.
I'm not exactly sure how, but that's the idea.
So it's like jujitsu. We use their attack and turn it against them.
That's the idea.
We'll keep thinking on it. I'd rather not have to take a direct hit to punch back. There might be some other way we can turn their strength into a weakness.
We'll need to prepare a boarding party, if it comes to that.
Petty Officers Edsalar and Diaz are the logical choices to lead any away mission to the Aphelion. They have already crippled one enemy ship. If anyone can do so again, it is them.
This isn't like the engineering mission that took you to the Zeldi. Do you really have some special insights that a tactical team wouldn't?
Doesn't the fact that we're here speak for itself?
Just surviving won't be enough this time.
Sabotage is kind of becoming our specialty. We'll find a way to get the job done.
Well, he certainly has the swagger for it.
If this is the necessary course of action, I support it.
With the help of Portal. He should be part of the away team.
I will compile all the latest data on the tricorders, just in case.
In the meantime, I want you working on ways we can combat the Tkon tech. Shields, weapons, anything we can use.
Yes, Captain.
Anything else, Ambassador?
I know this matter is in capable hands. Hold the line as best you can. Help is on the way.
Thank you. We have plenty to do and no time for speeches. Let's get to work. Thank you, Petty Officers Diaz and Edsalar. You're dismissed.
Get out of my office. God, you stink of poor people.
While we have a quorum of senior staff, there is a procedural element we need to take care of. The Resolute command codes must be transferred to Captain Rydek for control of the ship.
Of course.
Computer, transfer all command codes to Captain Jara Rydek. Voice authorization Ermot, Echo 4 Lima.
Voice authorization Duval, Beta 2, Yankee.
Voice authorization Westbrook, Alpha 7 Tango.
Awaiting your authorization, Captain.
Voice authorization, Rydek. Charlie. 3. X-ray.
Captain's codes transfer. The updated command structure is incomplete. Please designate a new first officer.
Who is the new first officer?
I've already made this call.
Please designate a new first officer.
There's no choice here. Really, I'm sorry, Illidan, you're awesome and all, and I do like you. But no.
It is an honor and a pleasure to name Commander Westbrook as my new first officer.
Thank you, Captain. You made the right choice.
Congratulations, Commander. It's long overdue.
I know we've had our differences, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate this.
Computer, Commander Westbrook is the new first officer of the USS Resolute.
Awaiting voice authorization.
Voice authorization Westbrook, Alpha 7 Tango.
Authorization is now complete.
Now, if you'll excuse me, there's work to be done.
I do agree. Unlike some cases, we don't have a bad choice here.
I think that went well.
Other than Lieutenant decided to resign her post. If she was even an option. I think she was, because you notice the third chair was in shot there. So she was probably an option if you do things a certain way.
Captain, could I have a word with you?
Sure, second officer.
Look, I respect your decision, Captain. Commander Westbrook has seniority, and I can understand why you might have felt pressure to promote him. But what I can't understand is why you would choose someone so clearly unsuited for the position. It's the very reason why Captain Solano chose you over him. Because he knew Westbrook as first officer would be disastrous.
I know you're disappointed, but I trust his experience. And I need to rely on him now more than ever.
But that's just it. We can't afford to make any mistakes. And that's my concern with Commander Westbrook. Maybe I've had it wrong this whole time. But I thought we've had an excellent working relationship almost from the moment you first arrived. Yes, I was insulted when you didn't trust me with the information about Captain Solano being compromised, but I've always supported you. Which is certainly more than you can say about Westbrook. He was always against you, especially with regard to Captain Solano. But I guess loyalty counts for nothing with you.
This is not... Do you know what cronyism means? Because it's a real problem. Real quick, someone asked how far we are in. I think we just had chapter 36, and there are 45 chapters. I'm going to go with 1.
Listen, I value your opinion more than just about anyone's. I rely on it. And if we're going to beat Galvan, I'll need your help now more than ever. So please, don't be discouraged.
I'll be fine. Just give me some time.
Like, we're probably not going to finish it today. Depending on when dinner's ready. But I've kind of accepted that. I could stop pausing and talking about the game, but I don't think anybody wants that. Oh, hang on. We're on Line of Fire. That's actually chapter 38, so we're 38 of 45.
I don't understand. Giving it everything she's got, but it doesn't make a difference. Something is actively slowing us down.
Keep trying. What's the situation in engineering?
I can't raise them. Internal comms are down.
It's the ionic interference. It's spiking again. If we reinitialize the central communications trunk, it should compensate.
I don't mean to make fun, but reinitialize the central communications trunk just means powered off and on again.
If I may, Captain. Communications are critical to ship operations, and I should go take care of this.
Go.
I was hoping we could buy enough time until Starfleet could send more ships. But it looks like we might have to face off against the Aphelion sooner than we might want. If it's just us, I don't like our chances.
We can't fight them on their terms. We have to be clever.
We're being pulled out of warp!
The Aphelion is closing on us, and fast.
We're being hailed by the Aphelion. Galvan demands to be heard.
How would you know that?
On screen.
You thought you could run? That I would let you escape so easily after taking what's mine? How pathetic and predictable. At least you can take solace knowing you'll be a far braver Tkon than you were as a cowardly Kobliad. Is it any wonder your people perished? If your every instinct is to run from a fight.
You underestimate the lengths I'm willing to go to ensure you don't succeed.
Sadly, this is as far as you'll get. We both know I hold your fate in the palm of my hand.
For the third time.
That I could crush you in an instant if I so desired.
For the third time.
And as much as I'd like to, you have another purpose to serve. As one of us.
Red alert! Pandar, get us
Why
out.
weren't we already at red alert? Nah, they don't care about this. They're busy.
Evasive maneuvers.
I have to tell you to do that? You're not doing your job well, Ensign. None that I've seen, Blade Taval. The only evidence he gave was that the captain did give him the job. Which, yeah.
They've hit the engineering section. No systems or structural damage, though.
Guys, you know what this weapon does. You literally know what it does.
They were targeting the crew, not the ship.
Duh!
Captain, we have to respond. Hit him in the mouth. What are your orders?
Fire photon torpedoes. Target the source of the beam.
Yeah, these people should know what the Borg are, right?
The Aphelion remains undamaged by the photon torpedoes, Captain. And its shields are fully intact. It's too powerful to take head-on.
Damage report from the lower decks.
I still can't raise them, Captain.
Could be that the system's down. Or that was the Tkon bioforming ray. And there's no one left down there to respond. The Tkon may already be on this ship. No way of knowing how bad it is yet.
Get an urgent message to Starfleet Command. Tell them we've been hit by the Aphelion's bioforming ray. There may be hostile Tkon aboard this ship.
I'll notify them at once.
Here are your new tricorders.
Hang on.
Now go. Get to the transporter room.
Aw. You don't have time for this. You don't have time for this. Because now they're Tkon, Lunaruth. They've been assimilated. Or I mean, by oh my god. Ah!
We don't know who's on what side, Carter.
Doesn't matter. You have a stun setting. Use it. All right, I'm ready, Colgrim. Give me the negative. Ready. Seriously, you have a stun setting. This is silly. No, listen, they're pure evil, Lunaruth. You see, we know they're pure evil because... Anyways.
You're coming with us?
A security officer told me your funeral, which I gladly accepted.
These are concentrated deuterium doses. You need to take the dose as soon as you're exposed for it to be effective. Hell, take it right before if you can get the Tkon to wait while you do it.
Funerals are expensive, except in Star Trek.
Walking onto the transporter path through the interference.
I've done this before.
No. No. No! My one true weakness.
There's a problem. We don't have enough power to make the jump. I might be able to divert power from...
Stand aside.
I got you back, yo.
The signal is now resolved. I couldn't let you fumble about any longer. Time is running short.
That's great. You must be Portal 6-3.
Yes. Guardian of the Tkon Empire.
I'm Carter. Engineer of the Starship Resolute.
We're right behind you.
Do us proud over there. Ready to transport.
It's a suicide mission.
Energize.
Mass Effect 2 Suicide Mission song starts playing. It apparently is the actual actor from Last Outpost. Obviously, a little bit older, because that was 40 years ago.
The glory of it. This ship is a marvel. Even to me. It's almost a shame we have to scuttle it. The galaxy has never seen a ship like this. And it won't see one ever again.
Wait, it is a different voice actor? I have been lied to. Hang on. You know, I don't even care.
No turning back now, Portal.
We are where we need to be. Now, we just have to do the job.
You were speaking my language.
Resolute, come in! We're losing cohesion.
I'm gonna try to use my tricorder as a pattern enhancer.
The signal's gone. Are they there? Did you get them?
No, they're dead.
They didn't make it.
No! Ensign, what's his face? What are we gonna do? We lost 2 people who didn't even have names!
We don't have time to mourn. We have to get to the Cartabula and disable it.
Hopefully before the battle group shows up.
Get served up for the Aphelions' next meal.
I am saturated in Tkonian power readings. I can't feel the source just yet.
Who, Lord Hermo? It's in red, a petty officer's shirt.
This way.
I can't reach anyone. At least not on the lower decks. It's like they're all gone. The comm systems seem to be operational again.
That bioforming ray may have transformed dozens of crew members on the lower decks.
This ship could be swarming with resurrected Tkon. It's only a matter of time before they come to their senses and take action.
Yeah, a few seconds from what we've seen.
Which means we have a narrow window of time to cut them off before.
Captain, we're holding them off as best we can on Deck 9, but...
If they spread throughout the decks, we'll never know who to trust. It'll be a civil war aboard our own ship.
We're leaving nothing to chance. Vent the air out of Deck 9.
Everyone in that area will die.
Yes, that's the idea.
I understand that.
It's your decision.
Venting the oxygen from Deck 9 now.
And what happens if some of the bioformed manage to escape? How should the crew engage them? Or should they? We don't want suspicion to run rampant.
Captain Solano had a favorite proverb from Earth. Trust but verify. Everyone should assume we're all on the same side. But at the same time, they should watch for anything abnormal.
Have we heard anything from Commander Ermot?
No. And he's been gone for quite some time.
The comm system he went to investigate. It's near the affected area. Commander Ermot.
This is Commander Badaji.
Commander Ermot, can you hear me?
Computer shutdown initiated.
According to this, it was initiated by Commander Ermot.
What?
The central computer core will shut down in 10 minutes.
Bet you it's Westbrook if we pick the other guy.
Can only be overridden by the captain of the core itself.
That's a terrible security feature.
With me.
Oh no, we're bringing a red shirt. Don't have time for this. We don't have time for this. We don't have time for this. Mourn later!
Secure the area. I'll stop the computer shutdown.
Let's walk slowly towards the computer core. Lady, you literally have a timer. Go!
The master console is up there.
Of course it is.
I don't have much time.
Of course we don't! Go, go, go. Oh no, it's Commander Ermot, and he's been turned. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And he's got a gun. Pull out your phaser. Set it to stun. It should already be set to stun. Shoot the guy. Move on. Fix the console. That's what we call the just in case. Fine game, just because you're letting me. I'll spend 3 seconds scanning him. Died from asphyxiation.
Awaiting captain's authorization.
And he was bioformed.
Computer termination sequence still in progress.
Cancel computer shutdown. Voice authorization, Rydick. Charlie.
3. X-ray. I remembered it just in case it called me to remember it later.
Termination sequence canceled.
I think they're mad now that we've been killing their people. I actually feel really bad about Urmot, consequently, for whatever that's worth. And not just because he's voiced by Liam O'Brien. Urmot was cool. That is the value of the zombie plague. The whole danger, the whole core drama of the zombie plague is that it turns people you love and care about against you. That's its central thematic point.
Of power coming from the Cortabula at the heart of the Aphelion. Look there. I cannot move as freely inside this ship. Those emitters are why. If they were deactivated, I could travel past this chamber without setting foot in it.
Only Tkon can use Tkon technology. How do I turn them off?
Place these on the emitters. It will suppress their effect. The guards none the wiser.
Got it.
I'm coming too.
If we both get caught, it's over. If it's just me, you can try again after I fail.
You also add nothing by coming with.
Don't screw it up.
So, thank you, Diaz, for picking the right call again. He's been doing a lot of that this game. And yeah, I always assume they're supposed to be like, it's voice authorized, but yeah. You're right, Sub-Zero. Stealth section.
Guards. Alert every Tkon in here.
Nothing to see here, officer. Is this one of the things? Yes, that is Josh Keaton, I think. No, okay, not here. Not that I'm aware of, little Billy.
Those guards can see the whole room from there. How am I gonna get past them? Maybe the crystal's portal gaming will get a reaction out of these consoles.
Listen, I'm crouching. That means I'm invisible.
It worked. Better move.
Maybe stop narrating to yourself out loud, too. Just a random thought, really.
I see you. Die, Federations.
That's the first really bad voice actor in the whole game. Die, Federation scum. I see you. You're gonna die now, cause you're evil, or I'm evil. That was funny. I wish we had interrupted it. I want to hear his whole line. Yep, they'll never notice that. I have no idea, Evo. I don't know how much is left, really. Or how many times I'm gonna have to pause, or all kinds of stuff. There's obstacles in the way. I'm not anticipating finishing today. It'd be nice, though. Ramon, the most ramiest of all ons. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry. That's been true for 50 years at this point, Lunareth. I mostly know him for his Blizzard work. Emperor Valerian. And, of course, Anduin.
We shouldn't underestimate them. They've been surprisingly resilient so far. They will all be dead, or us. All the more reason to be cautious. Galvan should destroy them and be done with it.
Yeah, but he's contractually obligated to be a moron. That's a good question, Little Billy. I would say Valerian is the Ardbert there, since Anduin is clearly the main character. Well, you don't like Crystalline Ship, the crystal ship of crystals? That's a ship?
One left.
Listen, there's one thing I know about crystals. It's that there's no such thing as too much crystals. Well, see, Kirk would show up. And honestly, probably do the same things we've been doing. Cisco, however, open fire with everything. I want you to put all the antimatter we have into a casing and have it ignite the moment it gets within 100 meters of the enemy ship. And just start throwing antimatter bombs at them. I've never actually played as one. I'm aware of them, but I've never played as them, Lord. I sort of stopped playing FTL. It kind of got dull for me, and I got really tired of getting pretty far in and then dying horribly.
Someone's here.
Die, Federation scum. Sorry. Janeway would activate Janeway Pie. There's no stopping Janeway Pie. No, Galvan. Rimworld is kind of in its own world. No pun intended.
Well done.
Hi.
Let's get out of here. More emitters. Guess we can't teleport the rest of the way.
I suppose that's fair, Lord Harima. Here's my problem. I don't restart enough. See, I think every one of the Federation captains would approach the do we genocide an entire species or save them solution the exact same way. With one exception. Archer would look at that and be like, we have to kill them all. Ready weapons. Captain, just do it! We have no other choice. And he'd be making this extreme scowl while he's doing it, like, we have to kill all of these innocent civilians. Sorry. Anyways. Follow my orders.
That craft can take us to the main power chamber.
No way we can make that jump.
When I was younger, maybe.
When you were younger. Bull crap, buddy. Alright, where are my eggs?
This might control that craft. Portal, a little help?
I should be able to bring it to us.
This isn't a complaint, but you notice how the captain has just kind of stopped being in the narrative once he was ousted? Just random thing. Did that move any faster? I am enjoying myself for whatever that's worth. I'm not going to say this is a perfect game, and I do actually think Tales from the Borderlands is a better game. But that's saying something, considering that is what I consider to be the best Telltale game, you know? What? I didn't even get to see that guy. And we're dead. Ugh. We're dead. We're super dead. It's just too hard. You're too slow. And then in the background, chaos control. And someone just roundhouses me in the face. All right. Is this the best Trek game? I think Star Trek Online still beats it, but this might be slotting into the number 2 slot here. So hang on. Let's do this. So I'm cleaning up the document slightly. Forgive me. Because there's actually a couple of errors on it. FTL. I was showing a friend of mine the TNG SNES Trek game. You ever play that? Because that game... Wow! Oh, it was bad, Gum Gum. I actually rented that sucker and played the hell out of it the moment I got a hold of it, and yeah. Okay. Come on, game. There we go. There we go. Okay. Where's the... Oh, there we go. That was the problem I was having. This is just for you, Evo. This is just for you. Behold its glory. Okay, I need to stop doing that because I need to actually shoot people.
What the hell? I've got this thing set to maximum stun. How are they getting up?
Something's different about the Tkon here. Stunning isn't an option.
So set it to disintegrate.
Get in.
Okay, gotta get my cardio in really quick. And now it's a car chase sequence.
It's a Guardian. He's with them.
They see me rolling.
We have to sink that other ship. Shoot the pilot.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you want about these people playing Mass Effect 2? Come on, show me the explosion. There it is. There it is. Knew it was gonna happen.
Guardian! You saw what they did to our ancestors! How do you stand with them?
What do you mean? We saved their asses. Remember? I bet you we would have lose them right there if we had genocided them. What do you want to bet?
We've left them behind. I've seen it with my own eyes. They're not real Tkon. We were conquerors, not parasites. The souls I pushed your captain to spare will not be used for this end.
You are the last real Tkon. Don't let them tarnish that with what they're doing. Because if we don't stop the Scions of the Flame, they will be the legacy of your people.
Never.
That's the attitude.
That's a good question, Bodipunk.
Doing everything I can, but I can't shake her.
I figured without me, you didn't stand a chance.
Where the hell have you been?
And the crew. Not for you.
You...
I couldn't just sit in my quarters, waiting to get turned into a Tkon.
What? You twit!
Your timing's perfect. We need your help now more than ever.
Clearly.
The only reason they haven't destroyed us is because we have bioformed Tkon on the ship. That's why they're targeting our engines.
If we lose the engines, we can't avoid the bioforming ray. Brace for impact!
What?
They're here!
I'm not even mad.
We're being hailed by the USS Titan.
Because it's the Titan.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Resolute. We got here as fast as we could. Looks like you've got your hands full with this monster. That flying chandelier really packs a punch.
We're damn glad to see you, Captain. We could use all the help we can get.
I told you I'd be here. So, what are we up against?
No. It's happening again.
Yeah, I got more targets now.
We have to warn them. Open a channel to all Starfleet ships immediately.
Starting emergency transmission.
This is Captain Jara Rydek of the USS Resolute. The ship we're fighting is armed with a bioforming ray that can transform your entire crew instantaneously. Avoid being hit at all costs.
And remember, they have our shield algorithms, so take preemptive evasive action.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure don't get hit means not let the entire ship get bioformed.
Just like that. We have to destroy that ship.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it won't be long before they're coming after us.
I was just about to say that. We need to take that ship.
All be Tkon. Or none of them. We can't assume anything yet.
What? Is this... Do you... Are you stupid?
And we can't afford to be wrong.
You're right. We can't just wait for them to attack us. Fire on the Pawtucket!
Sorry. Oh, god damn it. Okay, aim better. I know you don't have eyes. God damn it.
That's not a Starfleet ship. The Tkon have it.
Shields at full...
Why do you think At least we tried. We failed, but at least we tried.
Shields are holding up against their attacks. But they won't for very long.
Fire phasers!
Firing.
Get their shields down a bit, would you?
Shields at 60%. Heavy damage reported in astrometrics.
Hit them with everything we've got.
Yeah, attack pattern alpha.
Taking heavy fire. Shields now at 40%.
Stay with it. Keep
Actually,
firing.
no. Offshore Twitch account. Oh god. Homeworld
Weapon
cataclysm.
systems are offline.
Now's our chance. Finish it. We can send Galvan a message. Let him know exactly what he's up against. And that we're willing to fight to the very end.
Target their life support systems. Fire when ready.
Targeting their life support systems. Commencing fire. Now.
They're already dead. Remember that. That's important. Again, zombies. we not get 3 ships? Oh my god, that's 2 Excelsior. 3 Excelsiors. Oh my god.
Captain Rydick, the Aphelion is too much for any one of us to take on alone. But collectively, we might just have a shot.
On our way. Full impulse power.
Aye, Captain.
Yeah, why did we warn these assholes?
Target the bioforming ray. Fire photon torpedoes.
Firing photon torpedoes.
Is someone else attacking with us, or is this just us? Anyone. Anyone else. Anyone else.
I've lost helm control. Trying to reestablish.
Power levels are dropping all over the ship, but our engines are still running strong.
This is what happened to the Enterprise.
They're draining our energy.
We're caught in it too.
I hope the away team is having more success than we are.
Actually, yeah. Diaz has been pretty legit this whole time. He does have a Guardian with him, in fairness.
If there is a way to disable the Aphelion, it's there. We strike at the heart.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a hurry. Can we go?
The Cartabula. I can feel the energy.
Don't get too used to it. We're gonna take that thing down.
Look, you already committed to us, okay? Don't turn on me at the last minute, please. Yeah, no, ditto. Act 2 is definitely the weak act here. Of 3, if we're to break it into 3 parts. Part 2 of 3, maybe?
I wouldn't do that. We have to turn off this energy field to enter. I must do it. It requires the hands of the Tkon. Is it working?
It started.
Is the opening wide enough to get through? Well, is it wide enough?
No, but I can see the Cartabula.
Can I shoot it?
What about now?
Well, here we go.
Ah! I still can't get in.
Stand back. I'll try again.
Yeah, portal joining was honestly a bit of a change for the overall quality of the episode. Or game. Damn it. Oh no, it's the evil one. How does she... Okay, I don't even care.
Portal 6-3! I'm not going to remind you of the oath you took. I want you to remember why you made it. Your bond to your people. You can bring your empire back, and all you have to do is nothing. Stand back, and we will handle them.
So much time doing nothing. back! I will exterminate these heretics!
Okay, I'm with that.
This won't take long. I'll be back.
Give him hell, Portal.
I was made for this.
And yeah, he just straight up pulls a Magneto.
If you can get to the Cartabula, don't wait for me.
By the way, this kind of stuff right here is one of the reasons animation works better for Star Trek. Imagine this with live action for a second. Yeah, no, it'd be goofy. Or bathed in CGI.
Can we get through?
Maybe we can widen it with a containment field from the tricorder.
Sure. Oh yeah, I actually agree. Plus to store it. Let me jot that down really quick.
Oh!
I don't think we can crowbar our way in.
It takes a Tkon to do it.
And he's dead. Oh yeah, that's fun. No, Ensign, what's his face? No, Ensign, what's her face?
That's far enough.
Armanita, no! What? Shoot! Ha!
Carter, I could have killed you both, easily. But the part of me that is still Miranda won't let me. She compels me to bring you into the fold. I will make you one of us. Trust me, this is the best outcome you can hope for.
Literally fate worse than death territory.
Soon, you'll understand. Finally, we can be... rejoin the flame.
Damn it. It's where no one has gone before again.
Ego sequo, parego etos segnui.
Are you all right? Carter, I'm sorry I hesitated. I tried to keep her from getting you. If I'd just shot her sooner, you wouldn't be like this.
Process. The change in me has already started.
She's really gone.
She died weeks ago, dude.
For good. I can't believe it.
Our Miranda was gone long ago.
I figured DZ Maven. Surprising, but I figured.
I held back the barbarians.
Jeez, dude.
Not all of them. Miranda got Carter.
Have Tkonian blood now.
Saw that coming.
You must go and finish this, my brother.
See you around, Portal.
I can read it.
We're on a timer here.
Who are you?
We're on a timer here.
Tell me now. I demand it.
You're not real. You're just a voice in my head.
Carter, you're kind of scaring me.
Lady, I am currently being bioformed, okay? Could you shut up for 5 seconds, please? I'm trying to concentrate.
It's okay. I'm still in control.
And if I'm not, you're doomed anyways. So, nothing to worry about, really. Either I got this or you dead.
We've reached the Cartabula.
That's great.
Did you do something about it?
Yeah, we're inside. That's what matters.
Two of ours are keeping the bioform ships at bay, but they can't hold them off forever.
Getting remote telemetry from the away team tricorders. I'd recognize that anywhere. Our warp core resonant frequency is one of the readings.
They're bleeding us dry. But they're not just taking our power, they're routing it through the Cartabula.
Did you stop standing there doing nothing, please? Oh my god, seconds count, let's go. Thousands of people are dead, let's go. God, have some urgency. The camera bouncing has been one of the best parts of the whole game, I'd say. Yeah, let's have some coffee. Really chill. You know, I could go for some cheesecake right about now. I don't know, what do you feel like getting? Is it number 3? Does that come with mayo? Oh, I can move again. Yeah, meanwhile, worse than death!
There. That's the Resolute's warp core resonant frequency.
And these others?
Are you serious with this? Why does this even matter? Who cares? There we go. Oh my god.
That frequency matches the Titan's warp core resonance.
No one cares! Shut the thing off! Get to the hundreds of people.
And these two are the Kimball and the Lowell.
Same engine platform.
They're just tuned a little differently. I must be getting information from the bioforming, but this warning, it means that it's struggling with the power stacked up at close frequencies.
The Cartabula can't handle the dissonance?
Maybe.
This is Westbrook. Are you reading these Starfleet engine signatures?
We are. And you need to see this. The Steam Runner class frequencies are causing problems for the Aphilion's energy source. Sending visuals now.
They're vulnerable. We have to use this.
You can break a wine glass if you play the right note loud enough.
Sir?
The Tkon are so arrogant, they're letting us right in the front door with this energy drain. We can tune our warp core output to those frequencies. Get all our ships to do the same. Push it to maximum levels and we might be able to crack the wine glass, the Cartabula, and take their ship offline.
That's true, Andrew.
There is merit to the theory. But if we attempt this, it would preclude any other course of action.
It'll work. It has to.
If this is going to succeed, we'll need all Starfleet ships to pitch in. We aren't alone anymore. We need to leverage that.
I will create a high-energy static warp shell.
We'll need the away team to guide us to the right frequency.
We read you, Resolute. You're putting a lot of faith in us, Captain. That's a hell of a plan. We don't want to let you down.
You just do your part over there. We'll do ours here. And we'll get through this together.
Yes, Captain.
I found an eject routine for the Cartabula.
So we can disengage it, just like we did with the Zeldy's warp cores.
Yeah, but it'll only activate if this thing gets completely overloaded.
So we gotta take it right up to the edge of destruction.
We are increasing the warp core resonant frequency now.
You can't do this.
I'm pretty sure it can.
Destroy everything I've waited for.
If that thing wants to take over, it's going to have to go through the both of us. And I'm not going to let that happen. You hear me?
You can help me get the job done. That's the fight that matters most.
Also talking about it.
The only one.
Is something wrong?
No, we're fine.
He's just worse than dead.
Do you see our output frequency changing?
We do.
What is the impact on the Aphelion systems?
It's not enough. We need to push this thing harder. We need more power.
Inertial dampeners are failing.
Warp output at 85%. They're taking the bait. Now we need the rest of the fleet.
Open a channel to anyone left on our side.
Why didn't you do that already?
This is the Resolute. We're sending instructions to all ships to output maximum warp power at the designated frequency. We believe this will disable the Aphelion.
We don't know that. All we know is it'll siphon up our energy much quicker. You're leading us to disaster. Are you out of your mind? That has given them exactly what they want. You can't just expect us to turn belly up.
Our strength in Starfleet comes from our ability to work together, especially when everything is on the line.
I can get behind that, Captain Rydek. We're adjusting the Titan's warp output to match the Resolute's.
That would make more sense, Ross.
I suggest the rest of you do the same.
Thank you, Riker.
That's it. They're falling in line.
This is the Takahashi. Adjusting our engines now.
Get off my screen.
The Cartabula. It's compensating. Counteracting our interference. But some of these other frequencies are causing spikes too. I'm gonna find a new target range for the Resolute. Try this out.
Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on.
Here. This one's hitting the hardest. If they all converge here, it'll provide the maximum disruption to the Cartabula.
Got it. We want to overload this thing, push it to the brink, but not past it. You sure about this frequency?
Yeah.
If we go too far, we won't just be destroying the Cartabula.
I'm just doing what I always do. I'm an engineer. Following the data.
Good enough for me. Sending data to the Resolute.
Way team has sent us an updated target resonance. Sending it to engineering now.
We are now running our core at 105% of recommended capacity. If we try to meet that frequency, we will generate a harmonic imbalance of our own and risk a warp core breach. I must warn you, these are precisely the engine conditions that Captain Solano's experiment...
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. Yeah, you got an alternate solution? I'm just wondering.
A runaway reaction is a dangerous possibility right now.
We can't afford to start second-guessing ourselves.
If it doesn't work, we're dead anyway. So give me what you've got.
Consequences be damned? Aye, aye, Captain.
Yeah, sorry, but this really is a do-or-die moment. We really shouldn't be spending the time to debate it.
We got an overload here.
It's at the breaking point.
What's happening? We got a problem. It's not gonna eject. We have to disengage the Cartabula manually.
Well,
we lit this fuse. We gotta make sure it doesn't go off the wrong way. If we can pull hard enough on those levers, it'll dislodge this thing.
I mean, we know where this is going. We've already been hit by the thing. We're dead. We're already dead. The job now is to do everything we can with the time we have left.
You'll destroy everything I've built.
What? The QTE there was weird.
We have full power.
And the Aphelion is shutting down.
Returning warp reactor to
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we cool off the engine a bit?
Tkon are running off reserve power now.
I saw what you did. The sacrifice you made.
Radiation levels are spiking.
It's coming from the Cartabula. He must have damaged it. Didn't get it out before it fractured.
Our work here is done. Let's get out of here.
I like that too, Junkirosh.
3 to beam back to the Resolute.
Yeah, that's not happening, dude.
Our transporters won't cut through the interference.
We can't stay here.
We're not getting away in that thing.
There. Maybe I can use this to get us out of here. I don't know if it can get us back to the Resolute, but we have to get away from here. Everybody on!
Radiation's lower here, but still too high for us to stay on this ship.
This is good, but we can do better.
And soon, I hope.
We gotta get all the way to the Resolute.
That thing is down, but not out. We'll handle the stolen Federation ships, but you need to get a crippling shot on the Aphelion.
A direct hit to its bridge will bring it down.
Take us real close, Captain. Skim the hull of that thing where it can't get a clear shot at us.
Or
I can weave us through the battle. And hope we don't get caught in the crossfire.
I don't want to get too close to that thing.
take us along the Aphelion's hull. Get us to the bridge as fast as you can.
Aye, Captain. We're almost in position for a shot at the bridge.
Photon torpedoes armed and ready.
Break off this attack, or I will be forced to eradicate you.
Blah, blah, blah. Demon Lord, blah, blah, blah.
Ailon is still filling with lethal amounts of radiation, but it seems to be contained within the ship. For now, at least.
But they have comrades on that ship, both living and waiting to be reborn. We're going to die in here if I don't care. We will never submit to your Federation. We are taking our rightful place as rulers over this galaxy. We can't do that if we're dead. I won't give up on the dream of a new day.
So much for superior beings. You don't look so superior from here.
I don't have to listen to this.
You called me.
We've crossed the eons to get here. By a salvo!
Now the radiation is rising here, too.
Targeting the Resolute?
I can't let you do that.
Get on. Damn it. I can't hold on to it. I have to make manual adjustments to enhance the signal pattern. From here.
What do you mean?
Dude, we were dead the moment we were stabbed.
I'm not gonna make it out.
No way. We're all leaving together. We've been through too much to split up now. We don't leave people behind. Got it?
I'm really sorry, Nilly. I'm not gonna be able to go with you. But I have to get you back. Please.
And the time you're wasting is making it harder to do that. So if you could, like, honor my last request, I'd appreciate it.
You said that we'll be stuck here. Give in to me, and I will save us, not them.
Stop it.
What's happening?
It's an internal struggle, and he's losing.
Not like this.
Sorry.
Time's up for me. If I'm gonna get you out, it's now or never.
I don't want to leave you.
You aren't.
The time is now.
That won't work. I told you. This body is mine now. No!
Look out for each other.
Peace, brothers.
The away team has beamed back.
We're in position and ready to fire, Captain.
Target their bridge.
Please, we, target the ship. Pummel it to space dust, like we did.
Fire.
Yeah, I'm not an idiot. I didn't hesitate, I didn't taunt, and I didn't gloat. I had my shot and I took it.
Hey, Carter?
Nilly.
I thought you'd want to know we made it. And that you'll always be my family. Even if I don't get to see you again. You'll never really be gone.
Always, Nilly. Family. Forever.
Always.
I like to think, and I think this is true, we died, right? And then the moment the eyes went green, it was the other person. But they know what's happening, and they realize there's no point in struggling, so they just laid there and let themselves die, too. Whoever they were. Yeah, F's in chat.
All decks secure. We have the bioformed on board, fully contained.
The Starfleet ships under Tkon control have signaled their surrender. Good work, Captain Rydick. Next time I need some backup, I'll know who to call. I trust you won't have a problem with that.
Just say the word and we'll be there.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Captain, we're being hailed. It's the Ailon.
On screen.
The Federation. We won't last much longer in here. Please, we surrender. We need your help. Please, beam us aboard your ship.
I know what they've done, Captain. But we can't let them die. They're our enemies today, but who knows what they could become.
You saved the storage crystals, and there are other Tkon. The bioformed on Hotari, on this very ship. We wouldn't be wiping them out if we didn't help the ones who tried to destroy us.
It's what we do.
This is the fate they've chosen. Leave them where they are.
You can't do that.
We don't have much time. We submit.
This might be the first dilemma that makes me think in the entire game. I'm dead serious. Almost every decision has just been boop. I'll be right back while I chew on this. Oh, and by the way, I'm cutting off the guessing game, like, right now. So you have until I get back to guess. I am not going to coin this. I've already decided. But out of curiosity, the coin would say to kill them. Unfortunately not, the narrative. One of the core tenets of Star Trek, down to its very marrow, is the idea that there's the correct decision and the right decision. And a lot of people make the correct decisions for the correct reasons. But Trek is all about doing the right thing and, this is critical, having it work out. So I'm not going to make the correct call here.
I don't know what else I could say. Please, we don't want to die.
This is what separates us from them. The fact that we can make a gesture of peace even after all our conflict. Set up containment fields in the docking bay and beam the Tkon there. Crew of the Aphelion, shut down all systems, lower your defenses, and prepare to be transported.
Thank you.
Hey,
My first order of business will be to help reestablish the Hotari government and resume peace talks, genuine talks, with the Illidians.
And after that?
Who knows? I know I don't want to be queen. There's so much good I could do with just a fraction of your medical technology if I could bring it to my people. But I also want to see what else is out there. Maybe there's even a place for me in Starfleet. It would be hard to stay on Hotari forever. Not with all there is to experience, to learn. My devotion to my people doesn't mean I don't want to explore all the galaxy has to offer.
Okay, so now I have a choice. I can join Starfleet, I can lead Hotari, or I can heal my people. Who am I talking to? It's about Tylus. Yeah, these are, if that, I was gonna say this is probably Tylus, in which case these are all wrong choices. But I know which one I'm gonna pick.
When you're ready, Starfleet will be waiting for you. I'll even put in a good word at the Academy.
Thank you. Perhaps I can serve on one of your ships someday.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
But there are pressing matters we must attend to before any of that. I can't thank you enough for all you've done. I'll see you again.
Starfleet has granted me the privilege of conferring this upon you. Though I'm sure Captain Solano would rather have been the one offering this. You have acted dutifully and bravely through trying circumstances. I grant you the official rank of Captain.
Yeah, has Solano been on camera since we ousted him?
A great many wonders lie ahead for you, Jara Rydick. There appears to be nothing that can stand in your way.
Live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.
Victory. Peace. These things never come without a cost. For some, it requires putting aside centuries of enmity. For others, it takes facing complicated losses.
To Carter. How do you say goodbye to someone who isn't really gone? I thought I knew how to leave the past behind, but I've learned a thing or two.
And for too many, they had to pay the ultimate price. In time, history may forget their sacrifices, But those of us who were there never will. Now, all hands honor the dead.
Hail the victorious dead.
Captain Solano used to say that nothing ever stays the same. Entropy. It's the nature of the universe. As such, the crew of a starship can never stay the same. But while entropy says that order inevitably gives way to chaos, this crew has only grown stronger.
I'd put this above Generations, personally. But then again, I kind of hate Generations, so...
Bound by our shared struggles. And working together, helping each other, we're able to do more than we'd ever imagined. Some of our differences couldn't be resolved, but perhaps that too can change in time.
Generations is such a cluster, in both directions. If I had to compare this to a movie...
Engage.
I would probably pick Star Trek 3, honestly. And I know that sounds like an insult, and I do kind of mean it as one, but it is also a compliment, which I absolutely mean it as.
As we take our next steps into the unknown, the greatest insights that lie ahead are what we learn about each other. We might even surprise ourselves.
Yeah, exactly, Spartan.
And no matter what threats we may come upon, or mysteries we face, we will not be shaken. We are stronger together. We are steadfast in our purpose. We are resolute.
It's because it is Junk Garage. The intro to Star Trek Generations is one of the best individual scenes in all of Trek. No joke. But yeah, this is going to sound weird. Because this probably is going to sound a bit like an insult. But it really isn't. This is probably not going to score super well. I don't think it's going to hit the levels of, say, Tales from the Borderlands. However, I liked this. This was worth going through. It was very Trek, good and bad. And this might be the second best, or at the very least, third best Trek game I've ever played. It is very Trek. And again, good and bad. Do we know if this sold well? So, I was actually thinking about that. You sort of missed it, Sub-Zero. I'm guessing you didn't see the VOD for it. Because that was last Saturday, is when we played that. So unfortunately, it looks like they don't have any officially reported sales figures, which is always frustrating. Sure, Lene Ruth. Why not? Exclamation mark next, Bionic Punk, although it's a little out of date. Well, then someone broke the bot. There you go. It's not sushi, but yeah, no, it does feel like that fun regardless thing. Yes, tomorrow we were starting Doom. Oh yeah, by the way, we just got a world record on this speedrun. Yep, this is the only one. Winner by default. Default, default. Sorry. Yeah, win's a win, I'll take it. I know how it works, Dragon Player. I'm kidding anyways. But I'm totally gonna still take the win. No, Lord Hermont, and I never will. Frakes did a decent job here, honestly. Yeah, that's right. We've already reviewed Shattered Universe and Star Trek Online. So... Interesting. Aw. Alright, whatever. That's true. I could do that. One moment, please. I'm kind of in a hurry here, DZ Maven, but sure, we'll launch the game again. a really badly designed website. My god. My website's better designed than this. Holy crap. I can't seem to find the place where I can actually input the choices. Also, Riker's front and center on the website. That was actually a spoiler for me. Oh, whatever, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not even complaining. Like, that was a big thing where I was like, oh, sweet, Riker's on this. But, like, kind of came out of nowhere for me because I walked in pretty blind. I'm surprised they're advertising it that overtly. And by surprised, I mean, of course, completely unsurprised. Is that really an audience? Wow. So, can we come up with any pluses to gameplay for this? Anybody have any thoughts in chat? I don't know. Pluses, not negatives. We came up with pluses for Tales from the Borderlands. Not very many, I'm not going to lie to you, but we did come up with a few. The really strange thing here is I jotted down all of the positives we gave Tales from the Borderlands at the beginning of this run, just for notes, right? Just for note-taking. I don't think any of them apply here. So, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to give this a rare 0% ratio on gameplay. What were those? Well, I've already deleted them now. No, I agree with that. Let's do this. Hang on, let me slow this down even more by pulling up the website. Going to the Reviews tab. Tales from... Clicking this. Hang on. Okay, so pluses to gameplay were choice design, music design, exploration sequences, and general layout thereof. Core combat, which was actually surprisingly good, most notably in the outro, and replayability, since there actually is a decent amount of replayability specific to that game. So here's an interesting question. Does replayability apply here? And I don't say that as a negative, but more as a genuine statement, because I don't know how much things are changed by virtue of, you know, doing them differently. In fact, if anybody wants to completely spoil variances in the story, I would welcome that, because that would help me to judge this. So Diaz doesn't die, and What's-Her-Face dies instead. I'm curious how that happens. You can change who becomes Tkon. You can change if Portal betrays you. Yep. All of this is final act stuff, of course. Does this have an act select? Nope. I gave that negative yesterday. Don't worry. I give every Telltale game that negative. Can we get Solano a nice test? Actually, that's a good question. Can Solano live? I figured. Yeah, can Solano have any relevance after the mutiny? Bioformed off camera. God. I'm not reaching. I was just curious, Jeff. Alright. Let's do a quick... Now that we've done the boring part of the audit. Let's see what we got here. Of all the visual novels we've covered, only one has actually gotten a positive for branching narrative. Can you guess which one it is? Detroit is before the Oblivion line, and therefore does not count. It probably would have gotten it, though. No, the answer is, of course, the Stanley Parable. I know, obvious in hindsight. How do we feel about that outro? Narratively. Let me ask the real question. I think it's good enough for a neutral. The question is, does it push above into the positive range? I did miss some of it. They definitely remembered the wrap up the episode in the last 5 minutes trope. TNG is so bad about that. Late TNG, anyways. Give me your case, Blade Taval. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just curious of your thoughts. Because he's an interesting character, Zectaft. He was one of the better villains that we fought. TNG, easy answer. It felt like they were going for a TNG vibe very on purpose. Which is funny, because this is probably the furthest out of TNG. And still be in the modern era. If there's anything that would convince me to give a plus to the outro, it would be the stuff before the ending. I also liked the choice right at the end there. I'm not sure what the change that would be, but I'll acquiesce to it. That gives us a plus 31 to story. Yeah, no kidding. I actually had this random thought, and you're going to make fun of me for this, but you know one of the benefits of doing something like the rewrites? I don't need to make sure the characters stay alive. Don't mistake me, I don't want to kill people off all willy-nilly, that's another problem. But it's nice when you have the option. You couldn't do a scene like Diaz's on actual Trek because he'd live somehow, right? Correct, Sar. And yeah, Diaz is dead. Even before the ship blew up. I apologize for how long this is taking. It makes you feel any better. I'm going without food in order to do this. Okay. You mean you like characters going genocidal, Zactaft? Do we need to have a chat? Zactaft, are you genocidal? Yeah, let's get rid of that music for a second. I will in a few minutes at Evo. I have work to do. Well, I have no idea, Linurith. Ladies and gentlemen, Star Trek Resurgence. I'm going to have to type up a lot more notes on that later, but that's going to have to wait. Let's see who won first. Not that I'm going to tell you that. Hang on, I'm not ready yet. Ah. So impatient, God. Alright. I believe this one is faster than light. Yep, I'm correct. So, let's get this out of the way. This didn't score as well as Tales from the Borderlands, and nobody should be shocked by that. Let's just get that out of the way first. Tales from the Borderlands crushes it with 70 pluses to story because it's one of the best Telltale games ever made. However, when we go down from that, we jump down to 32 for Stanley Parable and 30 for Valhalla. This game got plus 31 to story. That's really solid. That actually puts it in the number 3 slot as far as our visual novels we've covered so far. That's 2 pluses per hour and a ratio of 81%. All of those are very good scores. Gameplay is -5. That's not great. That is a third of a negative per hour. And a ratio of 0%, which I'd like to say is the worst gameplay ratio we've seen for these. But it's actually tied for it, because Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York actually also has a 0% ratio. So, Tales from the Borderlands got a 96. Stanley Parable got an 84. Everything else hovers around the 30 range. Not very many, Blade 12. So our golden number for this, and you already did a bunch of drum rolls, so I won't make you do it again, is 51.7. Actually pretty solid, all things considered. Especially for a game that has a 0% gameplay ratio and a -5 net gameplay. 51 being carried quite literally entirely by its story. That's impressive. And obviously the winners are Lord Heremon and Trihexia, which I've already dotted down your things. This actually isn't a first game. No, this is more like a 15th game. This is a Telltale game, along with so many others. The final thoughts I wanted to give, and then I've got many, many, many other things to do. This was fun, and I don't regret doing this. I hope they did sell well, and I hope they do more and, frankly, better, but still, even of the same relative quality in the future. If nothing else, the fact that these people went through so much crap, lost their jobs under extreme circumstances, got this license, got their own publishing label, got this game out, and pushed it out, that's awesome. The fact that they managed that. And yeah, I enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Telltale streams tend to be bangers for whatever reason. So this was good. I don't think they're going to make another Star Trek game, but I'm going to be following the studio to see what they do next, because, yeah. But the final thing I want to comment on, we've had dozens and dozens of Star Trek games over the years, and I have rather famously said multiple times that they all suck. Now, that is actually a bit of an exaggeration, because there are a few exceptions, individual games that slide through the cracks as being decent. But the interesting part to me is that the overwhelming majority of them do not feel like Star Trek. They don't capture that vibe and tone. And if there's one thing this game manages so accurately and properly, in addition to everything else that it's been doing, it's that it actually feels like a Star Trek game. So, with all that said, and without any further ado, tomorrow we're going to be going ahead and doing the Doom block, starting with Doom 1. And otherwise, see you around.